while the Wall Street Journal is not. So, going forward, I will track this situation closely and get the truth. It will not be easy. It may take a while, but I will get it. I will find out which news agency was accurate, and there will be hell to pay for someone. Back after this. If you thought booking your timeshare was difficult before, you know it's almost impossible now. For more than a decade, Lone Star Transfer has helped thousands of owners legally and permanently get out of their never-ending timeshare fees. Lone Star Transfer guarantees the release of all liability to your timeshare in writing and in a specific time frame. For free, no-obligation consultation, please call 855-551-7066 or go to LoneStarTransfer.com. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com. Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Good morning, freedom lovers. What's up, Kenny?
What up, Vic?
How you doing, baby?
I'm doing real well, man.
All right, big show today.
Yeah.
End of week show. There's another word for that. We'll get to that in just a second. David Stokes from the Show Me Institute is going to start us off today. He's the Director of Municipal Policy. Larry Connors, we're going to walk into Mr. Connors' neighborhood. Today might be a good day to talk to Larry, obviously, about years and years of Islamic extremism that he's seen as he's been an anchor for so long. And,
I think it's a good idea because he's pretty fired up this week.
Oh, man, is he fired up. Larry Connors USA
Yeah.
is on fire.
Yes.
On fire, 6 to 8 every night on NewstalkSTL. Jay Ashcroft, now he's at some kind of gathering, some kind of, where is he now?
Something happening in Chicago. I think that's where he is in transit or something. He's gonna do everything he can to be on the show, and we have everything ready for him. If he can, he'll make it.
All right. More importantly, being in a city like Chicago on today's day
Yes.
of rage, just, watch his ass.
Yeah,
That's
be
more
careful,
important
yeah,
right now
yeah.
than to come on with me and you. Susie Moore, Deputy Managing Editor at RedState.com. I have a complaint.
Okay.
I'm going to give Susie Moore. And the wheel of audio clips at 10:41. All right, let's do the pledge. Let's get going. It's Friday. Who's going to lead us in the pledge today, Ken?
How about Judge Janine Pirro?
Oh, my God. Your Honor, Your Honor.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right.
She doesn't mess around, man.
Boy, I'll tell you what, she does not. And I love that she's a regular now on the 5, because if it's Jessica Tarloff next to her or some other lib, she just gives them heck. She really does. All right, Ken.
Yeah, I just found out, Vic, real quick. Jay has been called into the round table.
Okay.
So.
A little more important than us. That's fine.
This week.
I'm not feeling slighted. I'm good. You know what? There's so much to talk about. We'll just move on to other things happening here in the world on this very special day of the week.
Friday the 13th. Oh.
You can be replaced. Okay?
I know, believe me.
Come on!
It's Friday!
What's a guy got to do?
I got to get on the ball. I was just so into the whole idea of it's being Friday the 13th. I forgot the fact that it's Friday.
Are you a superstitious fellow?
No, I just think it's fun.
Yeah. All right. Can we take our first sip?
Take your first sip.
Morning, Caddy. First sip brought to you by DiscountCoffee.com for your favorite coffee delivered right to your home or office. Plus, you can get 25% off your first order by using promo code TRUMP. DiscountCoffee.com. They sent Ken and I a big basket of goodies.
Oh, it's awesome.
It looked like Santa came and left the presents in the room.
And I would go to DiscountCoffee.com and see all that they offer.
What do
Because
you mean,
apparently they offer a lot of other things instead of just coffee.
Like cappuccino cookies?
Yeah.
Oh my God, these are so good.
So yeah.
All right. Shall we move on? Shall we start? Shall we go? Let's do it. Deputy Manager. Boy, that's Susie Moore. Let's not get crazy here. Director of Municipal Policy at the Show Me Institute, David Stokes. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Vic. Good to be on the air with you.
So, Sam Page, I don't think a decision he's made as county executive, David, has been a right one. I can't go back and think in my mind a good decision that he made.
Well, I can a few, but on the whole, and what we're going here, I think a lot of people are troubled by this idea of a property tax increase without any vote affiliated with it.
So how far along is this?
Well, unfortunately, it can be done rather easily. They can't do it this year because they're dealing with the reassessment, and that's its whole other big issue that we've talked about before. But next year, it appears that they're going to raise property taxes just a small amount. In fairness, it's not a large increase, but they're going to sort of go around the Hancock Amendment because they voluntarily rolled the rates back a few years ago. They can next year, not this year, next year, they can roll them back up to that level, which is 4 cents. And for a $300,000 home, that's about between $20 and $25 a year. So that's what people should be thinking here. They could roll that up without a vote of the people, and that's definitely troubling. I mean, our Hancock Amendment is supposed to require votes for tax increases, and here they're sort of using a technicality, albeit an honest one. I'm not trying to say they're inventing the law here, but they're using that to get around this vote of the people, and I find it troubling. That's the easiest way I can say it.
Yeah, well, it is troubling. And what about a vote of the county council? Is this an executive order type of thing, or is the county council going to vote on this? I mean, how does this work?
Well, no, the county council will vote on it next year.
And they'll pass it? You think they'll pass it?
Well, that's a great question. I think there'll probably be at least 3 votes on the council that will think long and hard before they vote to pass it. Maybe there'll be 4. It'll be very interesting.
I'll tell you how it's going to go right now, right? You got Dennis Hancock, you've got Ernie Trachis, and you've got Mark Harder. They're all going to vote against it, right? Then you've got Shalonda Webb. She will definitely vote for a tax increase. You got Lisa Clancy and Faye Dunaway. Both will vote for a tax increase. The only chance, as always, is the former chair, Rita Days.
Well, I think it'll be interesting, and I'm also interested that Oscar-winning actress Faye Dunaway is now on the county.
That's what we call her.
County council.
We call her Faye Dunaway. We need a nickname like that for Lisa Clancy. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Right. I loved her in Mommy Dearest. What can we say here?
And that short marriage she had to Peter Wolf for the Jay Giles band just didn't work out.
Very funny. But that's probably how it will go down.
Yep.
Yeah, that would seem to be. If I was a betting man, and I'm not really, but I guess a little bit, I think that would be a fair prediction for next year, right? Because they'll take this vote next year probably in September. So it's a ways off. And look, I don't want to, you get your property tax bills. There's so many different taxing districts on it. A $20 increase from St. Louis County. A lot of people probably aren't going to notice that specific one, but people are going to be walloped by big tax increases based on assessment increases and local governments not rolling the rates back very much here in a couple weeks when they get their tax bills, and knowing that this additional slight increase is coming down the pike next year, I don't think people are going to feel good about that.
Rita Days is not a hard left. Clancy, hard left. Shalonda Webb, hard left. Dunaway, hard left. But Rita Days is that swing vote that every once in a while will surprise you and vote with the guys. And that, I don't know, we'll just see it. And it's the guys against the girls. Just thought about that. All right, let's move on. Metro wants to, it's a lot of money to this 5.5-mile Metrolink expansion. A lot of money behind that.
Well, that's sort of a topic that we could get into for hours. That why is infrastructure in America so unbelievably expensive? And there's people are starting to talk about this because, like in New York City, Vic, an area I know you know really well.
Yep.
They just built They had a project to build elevators in subways, just reconstructing elevators, and it was like $60 million per elevator is what they were paying down in the subway. It's just absurd how expensive everything has gotten. And I think the problem is that sort of everybody who's in on it, the companies, the unions, it's not their money. It's just taxpayer money, and everybody benefits the more you spend. So first of all, it's a real issue of just how expensive infrastructure is. There are parts of Europe that seem to do a much better job of holding it to normal prices. But then there's the whole bigger issue that we don't need this Metrolink extension. This isn't going to accomplish anything other than spending an enormous amount of money. $850 million is the current estimate, and Metro hasn't brought a light rail line extension in on budget since they started. So I would expect this to be significantly more than that. To get you 5 miles up and down Jefferson Avenue that can easily be served by buses. And that's the fundamental problem here, is that Metro, by state, through Metro, keeps planning on spending a fortune on Metrolink, and at the other end of it, they keep cutting their bus system. They keep cutting the system that people who use transit actually use and actually want in favor of the incredibly expensive, not flexible system that was designed for an economy that no longer exists. That economy being where everybody works downtown and everybody goes from their homes to one specific place like downtown. Well, we don't have that now. Jobs are dispersed all over the region, and buses are far better to address that and to take people to those jobs than Metrolink.
And
for far less money.
Might I add, on the difference between being on a bus and on the Metrolink, you feel a touch safer on a bus than you would on a Metrolink train.
Well, the driver is always there with you. The driver can stop at any time. Right, the driver has more control of the situation. If something goes wrong on that bus, as I said, can stop it, can get to a different spot quicker. So, yeah, I think people can feel more comfortable on buses than if you're on the back car on the Metrolink and the driver's way up in front and nobody can stop it. Nobody can get off the track anyway.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's a real issue, and we just released a paper on it at Show Me Institute by Randall O'Toole, one of the nation's top transportation and infrastructure economists. He does work around the country. He was with the Cato Institute for a long time. And we've got this paper available up at showmeinstitute.org. It's titled, Are We Building Transit for the 1910s or the 2020s?
Right.
We keep seeming to, like the loop streetcar, we keep seeming to want to go back to a system that no longer exists. And the most frustrating part is it costs a fortune. You could spend a fraction of this on bus systems, and you could get better public transit for the people who need it. Yet, because it's free money from the federal government, and I'm putting free in air quotes, of course, and I guess the regressive sales taxes that we collect locally in order to pay for our local share, there's an active benefit to the more you spend from the perspective of the bureaucrats who put this all together, and it's a tremendous waste of money, and it doesn't succeed in improving our transit system.
Yep. And, I'm sorry, getting back to safety issues, I mean, we have to look at what's really true, David, and that's that being on the Metrolink is not a safe situation for people. And somebody is committing these crimes. There's bad guys who now can go out further, right? out into wherever it's going. Is it north and south? Is that what it is? Or west and south?
It goes north. It goes up and down Jefferson Avenue from sort of mid-South City up through the north side, and then takes a left turn up, I think, West Florissant. But it's mostly a Jefferson Avenue route.
Okay, so the bad guys are on the train. Is my point. All right, Dave. Always great to have your thoughts on stuff like. Oh wait, the bicycle lanes. Somebody just called about the bicycle lanes in the city.
Yeah, they were saying that. We'll ask them about the bicycle lanes that no one uses.
Well, here. One more thing, guys. One of the troubling things about this proposed route is that it's not in its own right-of-way. The other Metrolink system was all built in its independent old railroad right-of-way. So it doesn't interact with pedestrians or cars except for a few spots in the Central West End. This one up and down Jefferson is going to be just at grade, like interacting with cars and pedestrians and bicyclists constantly. It's going to be much more dangerous from a perspective of collisions and the like than the current system we have, and that's not being talked about much.
Well, let's do it then. If it's not safe, sure, let's do it. Makes total sense.
That's a huge point of view, though.
It is. It really is. So these bike lanes that nobody uses, why? Why do we? Who's riding their bike downtown?
Well, look, I think we need to provide safe spots for people to ride their bikes. I'm not automatically opposed to bike lanes every way. However, I see, down in downtown Clayton, they took a route right through the heart of Clayton, and they shrunk it, and they said, this is where you take your bike, like right in the heart of Clayton Avenue on Clayton on Maryland Avenue. Mm-hmm. It's sort of crazy. A lot of times in this rush for bike lanes, cities are putting bike lanes because they want to check the box. They say we did bike lanes like you gave us money, and ignoring the fact that they put the bike lanes alongside dangerous high-speed roads. And then they're surprised when nobody rides the bikes in those bike lanes because nobody wants to get run over by a car or a truck.
Right.
So it's such a great example of bureaucrats who care more about the city government, county government. They get the money and they have to spend it. So they care more about spending it than they do about spending it well. Yep. And these bike lanes that are not put in the right spot, it's not that there shouldn't be bike lanes anywhere. I like bike lanes. Yeah. But they keep putting them in the wrong spot because they care more about doing it than they care about doing it well.
Or safety. All right.
Or safely.
Director of Municipal Policy, David Stokes at the Show Me Institute. Thank you so much, Dave. Let's talk again soon, okay?
Thanks, guys. Always great to be with you.
Thank you so much. We were in Tulsa to go see Chris a couple of weekends ago. Yeah. Their bike lane situation there is so stupid. So you got your curb, then you got your bike lane, then you got parked cars after that. So I was making a left, and I was like, what, is this guy going? Is he not going? And my wife's like, he's parked. I was like, what? He's in the middle of the road. You park your car what feels to be like in the middle of the road, then there's a bike lane, and then the curb.
And I didn't mean to do it, but I was in the city, and I was driving in the bike lane not knowing that it was. I mean, I just think it's dangerous.
Okay, if there's no bike, then the bike lane should not matter.
Okay. But
I'll get out of the bike rider's way. But
I will too, but some people will not.
It's like stop signs. Stop signs are ridiculous in a residential area at 3 o'clock in the morning. If what you've done is still safe, it should be fine.
Why are you yelling at me?
Because you're over there.
I am over here.
It's Friday!
Friday! Wheel of Audio Clips at 10:41 today. Susie Moore, Deputy Managing Editor at redstate.com. Jay Ashcroft will not be with us today. He's speaking at this event up in Chicago. Let's hope, let's just be safe. That's the most important thing right now. And then some guy named Connors. That's next. On 101.9, 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. The Vic Porcelli Show.
My son has not made money in terms of this thing about, what are you talking about? China.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
You know what? I love the guys at Connor Roofing so much. I shouldn't say guys, the couple, Kathy and Rob Connor, that I am foregoing this minute's cappuccino cookie to talk about them. But trust me, when I'm done talking about them, I will go right back to my bag of cappuccino cookies. Okay, Connor Roofing. So Connor Roofing, they've been doing this since 1993, right? I've been talking about them for a long time, and they are one of the greatest examples of me sending you somewhere, okay? If I send you to a company and then you call me back and you say, oh, thanks, Vic. Yeah, company took advantage of me. That's not going to happen at Connor. That's why I'm sending you there, okay? On my own, without anybody asking me to, I went to the Better Business Bureau website to check up on Connor Roofing. And A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. And I knew it. I was just checking for fun, I guess. I don't know. So be sure you count on Connor for an honest estimate, quality work, no subs, all in-house crews, and unbelievable customer service. They're also available for emergency storm repairs and discounts for senior citizens and vets. ConnerRoofing.com, CONNER roofing.com.
News, analysis, opinion.
You know, they're literally taking the Constitution and putting it in a paper shredder.
News Talk STL.
Hey, Colombo here, reminding you that cybersecurity has never been more important, so you need to ask yourself, is your business prepared for a possible ransomware attack? And if you have any doubt, you need to call the team at ThrottleNet today. ThrottleNet provides world-class managed IT services and IT support to many local organizations, including my family's own small business. They're St. Louis's highest rated and most reviewed outsourced IT company, and there's many different ways ThrottleNet can help with your business's operation and digital protection. Learn more now at throttlenet.com.
The ultimate tribute to the Beatles brings you their best show ever. The Fab Four live. The Fab Four performs the Beatles' Rubber Soul in its entirety, plus all the Beatles' greatest hits. Don't miss the show for the whole family. Witness the best Beatles show in the world. Saturday, October 21st, the Family Arena. Reserve seats on sale now at Ticketmaster.
His legendary soulful voice is unmistakable. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee Al Green returns to the concert stage. A night of iconic hits from the 13-time Grammy Award winner Al Green with special guest Betty LaVette. Saturday, November 25th at the Family Arena. Tickets on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena and Ticketmaster.
So many ways to listen to News Talk STL.
Join the conversation. All you have to do is say,
Hey Alexa, play News Talk STL.
Welcome to News Talk STL, conservative talk radio for St. Louis.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019.
It's Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show on News Talk STL.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, very much. Too busy to be with us, but fine. Don't worry about me. I'm not hurt. I'll be fine. It's a Friday. Weird kind of mood today. And I think it's kind of a subconscious defiance of this day of rage, this jihad day today, because I'm not altering anything I'm doing today.
No.
But can I tell you, the lot here is empty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
St. Louis Union Station lot is empty, so people are adjusting their life for this.
What I told my daughters, and my wife, because they're going to be out, and just know what's around you.
Be aware.
If someone's walking toward you in any way, shape, or form, just look at them, evaluate them. That's all.
And that shouldn't just be today.
No, it should be every day.
day.
Yeah, but today especially.
All right. We got an old guy poker player week.
St. Louis, it's Mr. Connor's neighborhood.
It sure is. Good morning, Mr. Connors.
Good morning. Good morning, Ken. Good morning, Vic. I'm glad you guys finally opened the door so I could get back in for the last 2 weeks. You kept locking me out every Friday morning.
Oops. That's what they told us to do.
Oh, well, I'd rush down here. I get up at 5:30 and get everything ready. I'm standing outside your front door at the studio here for an hour and a half, and nobody will open it. And I think, well,
that's what they told us. don't let Larry in.
You're good at following orders.
Yes, you bet.
We're really sorry, Mr. Connor.
Yeah, right.
If following orders means just sitting here on my fat ass and doing nothing,
there you go.
Piece of cake.
Good morning, guys.
All right, Larry.
Good to be back with you.
Great to have you. So listen, today's the day of rage, right? The day
World
of
Jihad.
Already, a Jewish woman in France has been stabbed to death.
Right.
So it's not a joke.
No, it's not. I mean, here's the thing. They light up the crazies. There'll be somebody who has been kind of thinking about plotting doing something. They have no interest in Hamas, nothing else, but they think now they're going to join a cause and they're going to either go with knives, a car, gun, whatever, into some area. And we've got extra security around Jewish synagogues, which is good, but they're not going to hit the target like that. They're going to look for a shopping mall or something of that nature. And again, I'm like you. I'm not trying to frighten anyone. Just be aware of it. I think Ken had exactly the right idea. You just be aware of your surroundings. You got to do it all the time. Yep. Not just because of this, but Somebody will be out there trying to make a name for themselves. If they do, I will never say their name.
Right.
So they're not going to get any publicity.
Right. So here's the other part of the problem, okay? NBC News says it's not a big deal. You right-wing conservative talk show hosts are stoking the flames
of
hatred
and
this and that. Well, a Jewish teacher's already been stabbed in France. You think that can't happen anywhere else? Here?
How can they even begin? Well, I know how they can, but the idiocy of it. I mean, who went into Israel and shot down innocent people, chopping off the heads of babies, kidnapping some? I have, this morning before I came in, I looked at a piece of video. I'm not going to bring down your audience with it. I will have it. I'm going to discuss it in more detail tonight.
Yeah, bring
in
down
my
your
program.
audience. Don't bring
Yeah,
down
well,
ours.
mine's a little harder core in the sense that they're expecting this, and what they did to this young woman. I'm glad God has mercy on people because I would have no mercy on these people.
That's the whole thing. NBC News yesterday had a story about millions of people are being displaced, talking about Palestinians. I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay? I know I sound like a great big jerk. We didn't start this.
No.
Right? The United States didn't start this. Israel didn't start this.
Oh, yeah, no, they're going to blame Israel because
of course.
in 1948, when they established the state of Israel, they did move people around, and they say you took our land. Well, Harry Truman was the first one of any of the nations say the U.S. stands with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's their claim. But the Palestinian occupation and having either Gaza Strip, and the Israelis have been allowing Gazan citizens to cross that 35-mile border prior to this thing last week to come to work, earn money, and then go back to their S-holes that they live in. But they've got money. And then you got the West Bank controlled by PLO, which is really Judea, but they don't want to call it Judea because that means it would belong to the Jews.
Real quick, two things. One, the Israelis, they warned the people,
Yes.
the Palestinians, to get out. They gave them 48 hours to get out. The Hamas and Hezbollah, they didn't do any of that.
They wouldn't let them, and even if they dared try to, they'll shoot them on the spot.
And what about all the people, the millions of undocumented people that are coming across our border? We do not know who they are.
I raised that. I had James J. Carafano on yesterday with Heritage. We're talking about that specifically. We have no way of vetting these people anyway when they show up, because maybe they're coming from a village been destroyed. But I have been convinced from the beginning that we are now infiltrated. We have been invaded, and if not by the Middle East terrorists, China sending groups of young men in military age, basically trying to form what is called a fifth column inside our nation. So they have another branch of a military already here.
Yep.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about your career and following.
It's pretty short.
Stories like this. And you know what? One of the things that my first real remembrance of this kind of stuff was the 1972 Olympics in Munich, right?
Yeah.
And the Arab terrorists killed the entire Israeli team. Were you working then? Were you?
I was, and of course, I was in Texas, and of course, not on site. We're having to rely on a lot of stuff, but then we're trying to supplement it, and folks in the area, Jewish. We're talking to them in particular. They did kill 2 there. Then they arranged for them to go to the airport. Mossad had a perfect plan carried out to get them away from that area and try to save them, but one of the terrorists, that one or both, decided to just detonate what they had on them, and no one had a chance.
I am a big Olympics fan. I love the Olympics. I've always loved the Olympics. And I remember watching that. I talked to somebody about this earlier in the week. Jim McKay was the anchor for
Jim
ABC.
McKay, you're right.
And his thing, he came on and he said, they're all gone.
Yeah.
Meaning the Israeli team.
Yeah.
And again, I will invite people to watch the Steven Spielberg movie called Munich.
Yes.
Okay, where they show the commandos, the Israeli commandos, finding each and every one of these guys and killing them. They didn't get everyone, but they got a lot of those guys that were there.
The ones that were not in country that they were coordinating and pulling the strings elsewhere.
There was 1 or 2 maybe. One or two they didn't get. Everybody else they got. My point is Israeli fights and they fight. Israel fights and fights hard.
And see, that is the issue we've known about. The Israeli security is so tight as to this attack that got carried out. The problem is they were relying on all their technological stuff and scans of that nature. They never dreamed that they would actually cross 35 miles of that buffer zone, start cutting and breaking their way through the fences, or paragliding into the river resort or city, the resort on the ice ocean, and just start slaughtering people. that was never in their planning. And now the word came out the other day that all this supposedly has been under planning since based off of Afghanistan, because they thought, look what happened in Afghanistan. We can do what we want now. Right. Our administration has shown weakness, reactionary each and every time, not proactive.
What Larry's talking about also is a big question that listener Joe, he called earlier, he wanted to talk about is because they had this big festival, and he said, well, how can they have this big, giant festival right near the border there and not have any kind of, real protection? And I told him that I had heard that they somehow broke that Iron Dome somehow in that area.
Well, no, they didn't, because they came in by paraglider. They weren't sending rockets or missiles in. They came in, some of them paragliding in, and Israel's surrounded by enemies. So there is a buffer zone between Gaza Strip is 25 miles long, about 4 to 8 miles wide. On the Mediterranean, it actually is a tourist spot prior to all this. Nice cafes, things of that nature. You can travel back and forth if you have proper credentials and so forth. The weapons probably came through Lebanon, and they may have well started with Afghanistan. Some of our own weapons are in their hands, and Russian Kalashnikovs are over there as well. So they've been armed by Russia as well. I mean, this is where we are.
Maybe the festival should have been in the middle of the country.
Something like that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
But
it's so easy to say afterwards, but who knows something like this is going to happen.
Many of those who were there, they're really more like peaceniks. I mean, they favor a two-state. They favor a PLO having a state and Israel. So they killed people that might agree with them up until the point you put a bullet in my head.
Yeah. Larry, some of the stories, I mean, you brought up the babies. We were on the air when that story broke, and I was talking to Ken, and I saw the headline, and I made a face. Ken thought I made a face about something that he said, but I said, I just want to tell you what I read here. And I read that story, and God, what kind of animal savages, beasts, scumbags are these people?
You remember Baghdad Bob?
Sure.
Right. Yeah. Oh, everything's good. Well, they've got their own, and he said, we have killed no one. Bodies are lying in streets. In one of the communities along the strip, there was something like 200 slaughtered across that city. And they fear that they've still got terrorists scattered throughout some of the homes and inside Israel already.
Baghdad Bob has changed his name, and now his name is Kareem Jean-Pierre.
Right.
All right, you get the Golden Globe Award for that one.
Hey, you know what? Larry Connor's USA, 6 to 8 tonight. Commentary.
We got 7:30, 12:03, 3:30. We're locked down.
Oh, my God.
Lock and load. Ready on the right.
Yeah, baby. Larry Connors, thank you so much. That's the great Larry Connors. I don't know, Ken. I don't know. All right, so there's some other things. You know what? I got a better idea. When we come back, why don't we give away some tickets for Bachman Turner Overdrive?
Let's do.
Can we do that?
Yes.
And then maybe later on, 10:25, we'll talk some more about the Israeli thing and this day of rage. I'm telling you, it's people, don't run, don't hide, but be aware. And arm yourself, too, while we're talking about it.
Yes,
All
sir.
that coming up on 101.9, 94.1, News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Stream the Vic Porcelli Show at NewstalkSTL. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
Most Americans are a $400 unexpected expense away from bankruptcy.
That's Bidenomics in action.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Woo! Oh. Give me 3 steps, baby. Okay, listen, the Wallner Home Selling Team, if you are in a situation where it's time to sell the home, for whatever reason, I always use the example of the kids are gone, this house is too big, after a while, how much room does one couple need, right? So if it's time to sell the house, that's where the Wallner Home Selling Team comes in, because they are the premier realty team in St. Louis. They have so many approved home buyers ready to go. See, they're already working on selling your house. You didn't even call them yet. It's like time travel. They'll guarantee you an offer. They sell 15 times more homes per year than your typical realtor, and they're a great husband and wife team. So if you are in Missouri or Illinois, because they're now licensed in Missouri and Illinois, and you want to sell that home, the Wallner Home Selling Team is the place to do it, okay? Rodney and Jen Wallner, the Wallner Home Selling Team at Berkshire Hathaway, they are just one phone call away, and that phone number is 314-810-SOLD. That's 314-810-SOLD.
On the next,
Larry Connors, USA.
Hamas terrorists calling for a worldwide jihad on this date, Friday the 13th.
Larry Connors, USA. Now, weeknights 6 until 8 on News Talk STL.
From home improvement to replacement, do-it-yourself electrical projects can be shocking. That's where Grasser Electric can help. They've been lighting up St. Louis for years. From ceiling fans and dimmer switches to repair or replacing your electric. No job is too big or too small for your home or business. Grasser Electric will even install emergency backup generators. So call Grasser Electric today before the sparks start to fly. 636-441-5200 or go to grasserelectric.com.
Sundays at 5 on News Talk STL.
That's what happens if you're a Republican and you're accused of lying to the FBI.
Mark McCloskey on fire.
What does the FBI do? The FBI lies to Congress. The Attorney General lies to Congress. The Director of Homeland Security lies to Congress. And then what happens? Nothing happens.
Mark McCloskey on fire.
Because as we all know now, the FBI, the DOJ have become nothing more than the enforcement arm of the leftist government.
Sundays at 5 on News Talk STL.
Hundreds of homeowners and businesses had or will have water main breaks. Wellington Environmental has a warning. You can clean up the water, but if you're not checking areas where the water leaked in the walls where you can't see it, you could end up exposing your family, your employees, your clients to hazardous mold. Wellington Environmental reminds you, if that mold is not detected, properly treated, removed, that is a risk, a liability you do not want. Wellington clients, including hospitals and schools, trust Wellington to make their environments safe. Call 314-644-4930, 644-4930. AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau, 314-644-4930. Wellington Environmental, your world, cleaner, better, safer. Be well with Wellington.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Hey, what are you going to do? Nice college boy, huh? They want to get mixed up in the family business? Huh? Now you want to gun down a police captain, why? Because he slapped you in the face a little bit? Huh? What do you think, this is the Army where you shoot them a mile away? You got to get up close like this. Bada bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit. Come here. Mwah.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
We mourn the act you and so many leaders have across the country, showing us what thousands of years of Jewish history has shown us. The enduring strength, and I mean this sincerely, the enduring strength and spirit of the Jewish community. If you excuse a point of personal privilege, you should say in the Senate. That's why I took my kids, everyone when they turned 14 years old, one at a time, put them on a plane and took them to Dachau. I wanted them to see that you could not know what was going on walking through those gates. You could not fail to understand as a country what was going on.
This guy is so stricken with dementia.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you really believe he brought each of his kids at the age of 14 to Dachau?
Okay, you're 14. It's time to go. We're going to go.
Really? You really think that they took him to concentration camps?
Look,
no, I'm not questioning you. I'm just saying, does he expect us to believe that, really? I mean, I knew well about Dachau. My father just told me about it, okay? My father was there, by the way, okay? My father was in the European theater in World War II, and I'm sure did more for this country than Joe Biden ever did, now that I think of that.
Yeah.
What has Joe Biden done for this country? Anyway, so...
Well, and not only that, but the fact that he's a compulsive serial liar. I mean, he has stories... to date, probably 500 that he's told that are all lies. So this is just another story.
You know what, Ken? I think I've said this before, or maybe not. He comes from an era where if you lied, there was no way for anybody to discount what he said. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, now it's like you say something, 10 seconds later, it's on a news source. Right?
Oh yeah.
But he comes from a time when he can say, yeah, you know, my old dad used to say, money doesn't buy you happiness, son. But whatever story he was going to tell you about his father, being an All-American, being a million miles on Amtrak. And, you know, the best example was he was running for vice president. He wasn't even vice president yet. And he said, you know, in 29, when the stock market crashed, President Roosevelt got on television and told us everything was going to be okay. Right there, somebody should have sent up a flare because Roosevelt wasn't president in 29. He wasn't elected till 32.
Right.
And there was no television, you know. I mean, but before then, he was able to say things and nobody questioned him. You know, before the era of conservative television, Fox News, semi-conservative, but Newsmax, OAN, RSBN, all that stuff, nobody questioned him on anything.
No, until he ran for president. Now, you got to keep in mind, you have to remember when he first ran for president, he was being a serial plagiarist at that point.
So what year was that, Ken? 70-something?
Yeah, he was a senator running for president.
Walter Cronkite still working at the time?
I think so, yes.
I think
yes,
so, too.
He was.
And there's your answer.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
There's your answer.
They called him out, and they said, you know, you kind of sound a lot like that Labor Party guy who was running for office in Great Britain, Neil Kinnock, isn't it? And it was word for freaking word.
So right now he's at a point where he says something, he still thinks he's in that land because dementia, Alzheimer's, one of the first things that happened, as far as I'm not talking like a doctor here, I'm talking like somebody who has had a loved one have Alzheimer's, right?
Okay.
My grandmother. And the thing is they can remember things vividly from their childhood, 60, 70 years ago, but they can't remember something they said literally 5 seconds ago. I would go over to my father's house, and she would be there, and she would say, "Hi, Victor, did you work today?" And I said, "Yeah, Grandma, I worked today." And I said, "Did you work today?" "Yeah, sure did." Over and over again. And what am I going to do? I'm not going to get mad at her. She doesn't know what she's doing. She doesn't know what she's saying. My Aunt Alba, too, same thing.
But she could recall a story from a long time ago.
From 60 or 70 years ago.
Okay. Now, think about that for a second. That's a great point because right now, Joe Biden, he keeps regurgitating these lies. He'll tell a story that's a complete lie, like you just mentioned a few of them. But he continues to do it. Nothing current. It's all these things from the past that are still lies, but they're from the past.
But he's remembering them.
Exactly.
Can't remember what he said 5 seconds ago. Can't remember the Secretary of State's name or somebody else's name that's in the building or in the room.
And he does that daily, too, by the way.
Every day. And he can remember things from ages ago, whether they're true or not. But my initial point was that he comes from an era where nobody challenged him and nobody questioned him until he ran for president, right? Like you mentioned, the whole plagiarism thing.
Yeah.
Because then the stakes were a little higher. He was running for president.
Yes.
You know, the media had integrity. Walter Cronkite, right? And now he still thinks he's in that era. So it's a combination of things. It's a combination of he still thinks he's in that era where he can just say things and nobody's going to question him and nobody's going to go back and say he was lying, plus the fact that the dementia is setting in and he can only remember things from a long time ago and he can't remember things from 5 minutes ago.
And can we stay on the media for a second?
Yeah,
because
sure.
Anybody listening to this right now, if you think, well, maybe I'm being too hard on the media because, you know, they try. No, they don't try anymore. They don't try at all. In fact, here's an example. Donald Trump, when he went down that real slick metal
West Point.
It was at West Point. He was going down that
ramp.
Ramp. Basically, it was a ramp, and it was metal. It was. If you're walking down a metal ramp, it's going to be slippery if it's wet.
Sure.
Okay, so they said, okay, we need to get the 25th Amendment on this guy. Joe Biden.
Because he was walking slow down a ramp.
Exactly.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No,
sorry.
and then Joe Biden proves that he needs to be checked for cognitive ability on a daily basis, and they don't do anything about it, and the media does not talk about it.
Right. And you know where we're at right now, right? NBC says we're a bunch of fear mongering, stoking anger, and they think that this day of jihad is not a real thing, Ken. They really truly think this day of rage is something we made up.
Yeah.
Like the leader of Hamas didn't get on television and actually say that.
Right.
I just can't. I can't.
You can.
I can't do it.
No, you can't.
Cannot do it.
You can't.
Okay. Can we play another piece of Biden poetry? Number 4. All right, you guys ready? Listen to this.
But I just, look, I mean, I'll never forget, well, I won't go into that. Anyway, I just think that if we stay true to our values.
Wow. What was the topic there? Do you remember?
I have no idea.
Well, he clearly doesn't either.
Well, he got into something. He said, you know what, I'm not even going to be able to finish this, so I better stop right now.
And he started something.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. He started something, got a couple of words in, no synapses whatsoever going on in the brain, and he goes into his, well, if we hold on to our values. Well, what are our values? Joe, what exactly are our values according to you?
Yeah. Then he would have no answer again. People are not holding him accountable at all.
So like it or not, everybody, today is a day of rage, day of jihad, okay? Don't alter what you're going to do today. Just be aware, be armed if you can, and be aware of everyone around you, right? When I go into a store or a supermarket or something, if it's a place where there are people around me, I could leave that store, and this is a weird thing that I have, tell you what everyone was wearing at least, you know? It's so crazy.
I could see you being that way.
When I have instances in my past where I could tell you what somebody was wearing. Isn't that weird? I mean, I can't remember sometimes even the person's name.
Yeah.
But I can remember that guy with the red shirt. He had a couple of buttons in it, and he had jeans on, and he had really new white sneakers. These are the things that I think about because sometimes it's easier than remembering a face.
The police would love you if they needed a witness.
If they wanted a sketch of the guy from the neck down.
Right. Last night, I went shooting with my daughter, and, we were just doing it. It wasn't because of today, but we just do it. She came home for a couple of days from down at Mammoth Cave, and I said, hey, you want to go shooting? She's like, yeah, that'd be fun. And it was a time for me to talk with her, and I did say to her, I said, look, things are happening right now. Just know who's around you.
Mm-hmm.
Just know, when you're walking through a store, you don't know if a person's going to run up behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Just know where they are. And I don't mean be paranoid. I am not saying be paranoid because I'm not. I'm very comfortable when I walk around. But I just know exactly who's around me.
Big difference between being paranoid and being prepared.
Yeah.
Big difference. So be prepared. Know what's going on around you. Notice the people around you. Because like Ken said, police may need you to identify somebody one day.
Yeah.
If they need me, I'll be able to identify them,
And about the police, they actually, when I was going through my training for my weapon, CCW, they said they like people who like us because we are there. If something goes down, they can't be there right away. Right. And it needs to have someone, they need to have someone right there that can help.
It's okay to be the eyes and the ears for them sometimes, for law enforcement.
Yep.
All right, Ken, can we take a couple of seconds to check our chat box?
Yes, sir.
Chat box music, please. Oh, well, look who's first in the chat box. Little Miss Susie Moore. Good morning, Vic Heads. Good morning, Susie Moore. Good morning, all Patriot Vic Heads. Lock and load already on the right. On the hill. On the hill, we call them golf cart lanes instead of bike lanes.
That's great.
Golf cart lanes.
I love that.
That's hysterical.
I would use that.
I call it all the crime link. Oh, Metrolink, I guess. Having buses and Metrolink coming from these high crime areas.
And Vic, that's such a shame. My wife and daughters used to use that to go downtown.
I used to use it sometimes to go to ball games and stuff. I'd park in Maplewood and go down so I don't have to worry about parking.
Yeah.
But, again, I will say the crime's coming from somewhere, okay? So you're not a jerk if you say you don't want the criminals coming out to wherever you live.
Right.
I'm sorry. The criminals are there. Don't tell me they're not. Good Friday morning. What did I miss? Why be especially careful today? Okay, Kristen. So the leader of Hamas has called for a worldwide jihad today, Friday the 13th, for all Palestinian and Hamas supporters to commit violence, specifically against Jewish people. And you know how this show feels about Jewish people. So just be aware, look out, and be awake. Good morning, Vic Heads. Keep alert, stay safe, lock and load, and pray. Hashtag Vic Heads for Israel, Ken. Hashtag Vic Heads for Israel.
There we go.
Zena Hackler.
I like that.
Yep.
Thanks, Zena.
Zach says it's Friday. God bless you three buttes. I guess that means you and me and the old man, right?
Oh, yeah.
Kirby, where happened? Kirby says, Kirby says to use the Trump thing for coffee to, damn it, discountcoffee.com. Sorry. Happy Friday, ladies, gents, and gentle cats. When this show ends, my weekend begins.
All right.
I love that. Randy's got his flag and the hearts around the flag. Thank you so much for that. Oh, my God. All right, real quick. Rumble box real quick. Ed Stoy to pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. It's Friday. Whoosh, my MAGA brothers and sisters. When you attempt to appease evil doers and you take your eye off the ball, they could be plotting behind your backs.
There you go.
That's what Netanyahu did.
Yep.
Took his eye off the ball.
Yep.
And I think he would agree with that.
I agree with that.
Phew, that was a quick hour. Hour number 2, right after we take some time out for townhall.com news, and then we're back on a Friday on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Whoosh.
You live in St. Charles County? Then you can get Mid-Rivers News Magazine delivered free to your home just by asking for it. Mid-Rivers News Magazine is the only print source for the political, school, business, and sports news happening in your hometown. Simply visit midriversnewsmagazine.com/subscribe to get a copy delivered to your mailbox. Or you can pick up a free copy at all area Deerbergs and Schnook stores. Mid-Rivers News Magazine. Anybody who wants it gets it. Anybody who gets it wants it. Subscribe for free today.
Is your retirement income at risk if you or your spouse needs nursing home or in-home care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL 1019. The cost of long-term care is one of the biggest risks in retirement planning. For many retirees, a single nursing home stay can cause a significant reduction in assets that can permanently reduce your retirement income. Fortunately, there are affordable and flexible options available today that can help you manage the cost of long-term care. Our team can help you address the risks relevant to your retirement, including long-term care. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
School choice is an idea whose time has come. It's flourishing in many states, just not in Missouri. Take charter schools, a great alternative for parents whose kids may be trapped in a failing school district. But charter schools are currently only available to families in just 3 of 520 school districts: Kansas City, the city of St. Louis, and Normandy. Open enrollment allows students to enroll in a district other than the one in which they live. It's important because rural schools may not offer all the advanced classes larger districts do. Open enrollment does exist in Missouri, but participation is highly restricted. And the Empowerment Scholarship Account, or ESA program, needs to be expanded so many more parents of students with disabilities and low-income students can access it. Charter schools, open enrollment, ESAs. If they're good for some children, they should be good for all children. Check out our 2023 blueprint, Moving Missouri Forward, at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
Hey, Tony Colombo here for Gutter Pros. When Christine and I bought our new house, we knew the gutters were an issue, and after meeting the Gutter Pros team, we knew that they were right for us. Gutter Pros is your all-in-one gutter service team that offers a variety of affordable solutions, and they even offer free estimates, so there's no cost to you to find out if they are right for your home, just like they were for ours. If you're having a problem with your gutters, contact the Gutter Pros now, because with Gutter Pros, water goes where they tell it to. Call them at 314-656-7195 or visit gutterpros.com.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
Hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Hamas urging Palestinian civilians in Gaza to ignore Israeli warnings to evacuate ahead of the expected ground assault by hundreds of thousands of Israeli troops. Israel has provided advance warning to civilians to clear out within 24 hours. French anti-terror investigators are in charge of the investigation of a deadly knife attack at a school in northern France.
The attack took place at around 11 o'clock this morning in a lycée in the center of Arras. A young man with a knife killed one teacher and seriously injured another teacher and a security guard. The attacker was then apprehended and is in police custody. Police say he's of Chechen origin and was known to the security services for his involvement with radical Islam.
The BBC's Hugh Schofield in Paris. A powerful Democrat senator from New Jersey is now accused of working as a foreign agent.
Federal prosecutors in New York City have rewritten their indictment against Senator Bob Menendez and his wife to charge them with conspiring to have him act as an agent of Egypt and Egyptian officials. The superseding indictment, which was filed in Manhattan federal court, says the conspiracy occurred from January 2018 to June of 2022. The new charge comes just weeks after the New Jersey Democrat and his wife were accused of accepting bribes from 3 New Jersey businessmen who wanted the senator's help and influence over foreign affairs. The couple has pleaded not guilty. I'm Shelley Adler.
Unions representing 75,000 healthcare workers recently staged a strike against industry giant Kaiser Permanente over wages and staffing shortages, have reached a tentative agreement with the company. A 3-day strike last week involved workers in multiple states and officially ended last Saturday. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 52 points and NASDAQ down 95. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Donald Trump's indictment proves that saving America is not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau. I'm a news analyst, a Christian author, and evangelical leader. I speak to millions of people every week, people just like you. You see, what the elites are doing is using inflation and government handouts and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. And that's why I recommend all Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group. Because physical precious metals are one of the few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word FAITH to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached. Text the word FAITH to 989898 and you're going to be blessed by taking action right now.
Something for social.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Chris Cooper and Serenity Wealth Management. Discover little-known strategies that could be the difference between choosing the care you deserve or having someone else decide it for you. Get a free copy of Chris's book at SerenityLTC.com. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
After a dry morning rush for the metro, rain chances ramp up quickly. Want you to be ready for periods of rain and some rumbles of thunder through midday into the afternoon. The cold front responsible for all this moves through late this afternoon and this evening. That could bring one more brief shower along with it. Otherwise, breezy, cooler, a high of only around 71. Tonight, mostly cloudy, dropping to 54. The weekend has autumn written all over it. Lots of clouds, highs only in the upper 50s to near 60, and an occasional sprinkle or shower. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, you know, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Welcome home and welcome back to hour number 2 on 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. I'm Vic Porcelli. That guy over there, he is Ken Williams. And we've got the Wheel of Audio Clips coming up at 10:41 today. And right now, I believe it's time for Susie Q.
Oh, Susie Q, baby, I love you. Susie Q.
I'm the boss. How about that?
And I should have listened to Susie more from the beginning. Yeah. Good morning, Susie Moore. How are you?
Good morning, Vic Porcelli. I'm doing all right.
All right. So I'm just going through what I do before we talk to you is I go to the authors drop down and see everything you've written. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your last 5 articles are about everything going on in the Mideast. And God, you must be just fatigued by now about it.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Right? I mean, you got to do what you got to do. This definitely hit you hard. This whole thing hit you hard. I told you last week when I saw your tweets, whatever you call them now, and I knew you were just really, really upset. You were very short and to the point, but you made your point. And, I don't know. So here we are, Day of Rage. Here's why your site, redstate.com, is so important, okay? Because NBC News says there's no Day of Rage. You right-wing lunatics. At least, sites like this can keep everything in check.
Yeah, that was interesting coverage on their part, particularly as it in the article itself was already acknowledging the fact that there was this ramped up alert from the FBI and the NYPD, and yet they're saying, but it was some sort of conspiracy theory by the right.
I don't know how they keep getting away with it. And Morning Joe, Andrea Mitchell, both got their asses handed to them when they were talking to, Andrea Mitchell for sure, talking to a mother of a person who was abducted and kidnapped. And this mother just reamed her a new one. And I think it's about time people step up and let that side that only watches NBC News know that they're full of it. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that particularly those in the media bubble kind of miscalculated the level of just righteous anger and fed up with baloney that millions of people are feeling. And it's like, this isn't just like we were talking about when we spoke before. I mean, this isn't a both sides type situation. You can have empathy for innocent people that are not, part of the fighting. You can have that empathy, but this isn't a both sides situation. And it's the instinct of the media to try and many college campuses to try and make it that way has run into a buzzsaw.
Why? I hate to sound like the old fart here. Okay. Why don't the kids get it? What is it that draws kids into the wrong side of history, like holding up a sign that says queers for Palestine?
I think it's just kind of the mentality of young adults. When you first, I can think back to my time in college and law school, and there were causes, not causes that align themselves with terrorism, I will say, but there were causes that you got kind of wrapped up in because everybody around you was talking about it, and you kind of you soak in all of the messaging and sometimes the propaganda, and you just kind of you don't question it. And particularly these days, kids they're not encouraged to question anything. They're encouraged to just swallow everything hook, line, and sinker, and never take a step back and wonder, okay, does this make sense? Is this the right thing? So there's that. There's the idea that anything that, either the establishment or Republicans or Donald Trump says we must be exactly opposite of without any stopping to think about what that really says about them. And so I just think it's kind of like the hive mind thing.
It's so easy for them to get sucked in, I guess, right? I mean, here's an example of, I'm going to take this a different way, and it's going to sound stupid at the beginning, but I promise you I'll get to the point. Yesterday on Porcelli's Deli, we did Paul is Dead, right? The big conspiracy theory that started in 1969 that Paul McCartney had died in a car crash. And I went home last night, and I watched some documentaries because I obsess. Ken, do I obsess about stuff?
A little bit.
So I watched a couple of them, and you watch these, and they're very convincing, If you were to watch this, you might believe that Paul is dead. you know? And I think it's the same thing with this. These kids hear this talk, and they hear this propaganda, and they say, oh, well, Israel are terrible people. I stand with Palestine. You know what I mean?
Right. It's an apartheid state. They're being oppressed. Well, you know what? You can be critical of some of the Israeli government stances. You can have differing views on what the solution is, and you can certainly have empathy for people that are caught up in the middle of it without a lot of options. But you can't really overlook what happened last Saturday, and you can't just brush it away. And you know what's interesting is some of these kids, these college students are kind of meeting reality up close and in person, because they signed off on these lofty statements talking about how they stand with Palestine and Hamas and Israel, is at fault, without giving it much critical thought. Well, not without giving it any critical thought. And now it's coming back to bite them hard. And I'm glad for that, because, there are consequences for approving of and condoning this type of behavior. And the fact that there are employers out there saying, you know what, we're not going to want to hire somebody who signed off on that, or we're not good with that. I mean, it's good for them to see that there are consequences for this. You aren't just right because you joined on to the cause that all your friends were shouting about.
And you know what? It's really going to hurt them, as you mentioned, in the long run, trying to get a job, right? Any kind of Palestinian support. If you put pronouns on your resume now, you're probably not going to get the job, because you're probably just drama, and they're hurting themselves in the long run, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a savvy employer and you're vetting, candidates for a job opening, and you're looking at their social media and it's all about social activism and that sort of thing, I mean, instinctively, you want to shy away from that, because you don't want people to come work for you that are going to start raising a big ruckus every time things don't go their way.
Drama. So I think Hamas, Palestine, Hezbollah, Iran, they've taken the word atrocity to a whole new level.
Yeah, I think that's that's pretty fair. I mean, it certainly seems to be on par with some of the most heinous, actions of days gone by.
Atrocities, killing babies. I mean, what gets worse than that? What could possibly be worse than that?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where sometimes the words don't seem sufficient to actually describe just, the level of evil you're seeing there.
Yeah.
What's amazing to me, Susie, is they continue, they're going to ramp it up now. You watch. They're going to ramp it up on the left, and the Democrat socialists are going to say, now we need peace. We need,
They're already saying that.
I know they're saying it now, but it's going to ramp up.
Even higher.
Yeah. Where the Israelis have to be the ones to have restraint.
To de-escalate.
And to de-escalate. The problem is, Susie, and you can talk about this, is that there are going to be a lot of Hamas and Hezbollah people infiltrated into Gaza that they're not going to find, and they're just going to regroup.
Well, I think that's why Israel is, kind of taking a very, very a massive step to address it. It's not just firing rockets back and expressing their outrage. I mean, they're loaded for bear, and I think they mean business. Which is why I said, it would be wonderful if the hostages are retrieved. I hold out hope for that, but I don't think that's very realistic under the circumstances.
Wow.
I was outside for a moment, and I was scrolling through my Facebook feed, and Cone's Kosher Deli, I believe, is owned by a listener of the show, and it said, "Thank you to the Creve Coeur Police. They'll be with us all day today."
That's amazing.
So
love it.
Way to go.
That's good.
Yeah. And then
that's good.
Shabbat Shalom. Anybody know what that means? Shabbat Shalom. I should probably know, but I don't.
I should know what it means.
I'm sure it's some sort. Yeah. And Susie, we talk to Karen Cataline every Thursday, right? And we talk about Jewish stuff. We talk about Jewish stuff. We talk about Italian stuff. That's how our relationship got going,
Right.
Because she's obsessed with The Godfather and the Mafia, and I have always been endeared by the Jewish way of life. And the one thing that really brought us together was the very end of our very first interview when I said, okay, Karen, I got a joke for you, and it's with all respect. She said, of course. I said, how many Jewish grandmothers does it take to screw in a light bulb? And don't you know she knew the answer? And the answer
She knew the answer, didn't she?
She knew the answer. Don't worry about me. I'll sit in the dark. I don't need light. I'll be fine.
Exactly.
So, but who else was I going to think about when all this stuff was happening than her?
Uh-huh.
And we had her on Monday, and you could hear the sadness in her voice. It broke my heart.
Yeah, Vic, I want to say this. I have obviously many Jewish friends and some family members too. And most of them, not all of them, but most of them are of a more liberal persuasion when it comes to politics. But that has kind of all been set aside with all of this. And the thing that I have seen over and over again in private conversation and then even in some social media posts, first of all, almost everybody was very quiet for the first day or two. I think everyone was just stunned in silence. But I'm seeing more and more of this sort of expression of pain, like, I'm still processing this. This is mind-boggling. And the silence from people who I thought of as my allies and people that I supported in their causes has been deafening. And, so I've been trying to kind of reach out to my friends and family members and just let them know I'm thinking about them, because as painful as this is for all of us, this is extraordinarily painful for the Jewish faith and for the people of Israel. And so just, any kind of support that you can give them, letting Karen know you were thinking about her, I'm sure meant the world to her.
It did. She actually sent us a separate email saying that. And
Mhm.
Susie,
Yeah.
to your Jewish friends and to anyone's Jewish friends, you should say Shabbat Shalom. It means peaceful rest, peaceful Sabbath. And it's used to greet people
Mhm.
or bid farewell on the Jewish Sabbath or in the days
Mhm.
leading up to Saturday.
So excuse my ignorance.
Yeah.
So this every week, right? Sabbath is every week. So Shabbat
Yeah.
Shalom
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
what, Friday night, I guess?
Sundown on Friday night, yeah.
All right. I'm sorry to bring this up again, but it just caught my eye on redstate.com. NBC says there's no terror threats. We're fine. Don't worry about it. But yet, there's security fencing going up around the Capitol building.
Interesting.
Right. Funny that. Hey, Vic, I heard you say earlier that you had a complaint.
I do. You want it now?
What's that? Yeah.
Okay. It's these VIP stories.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're fine. I get it. Subscriptions. But sometimes there's a little flag that says VIP, and sometimes there's not. So I'll click on a story that I really want to read, and then it turns out it's a VIP story.
Are you doing it on your mobile app or on a computer?
Before I answer that, what would the difference be? It should be everywhere.
No. There's a reason why I'm asking this.
Okay, probably on the laptop.
Okay, on the laptop it should always be there.
Okay.
So if you're clicking on an article that doesn't have the VIP flag and it's then terming VIP, bring it to my attention and let me know, because then that's something's going wrong and I need to know about that.
Okay.
If it's on mobile, I will tell folks that's because mobile is in the process of being upgraded, updated, and there's some glitches here and there that are probably going to be ironed out within the next month.
Okay.
But if it's on your desktop, if it's on a computer, and you're seeing that, I need to know about it.
All right. I love the site.
We're not trying to lure people in.
No.
No.
And that wasn't
at all.
Nothing
No.
devious was going through my head. I was just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna see it. No, it's a VIP story, and I'm sure there's VIP
Yeah, it
stories.
should flag.
Yeah, I'm sure they're great.
Well, you should be a VIP member, Vic.
I know she was going to go there. I knew she was.
And you know
gonna
what?
go
I'm
there.
considering that too, because it is such a great
It's
resource.
not that pricey, to be honest.
Well, I'm an executive producer of the show, Susie, and I need that information. And so I should probably do that anyway.
Yeah, get on that.
Okay,
producer boy.
All right.
It'd be a totally legitimate expense, I would think.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. I mean, I love Red State because sometimes on this show, people tell us we say what they're thinking, right? The person who listens to the show says, I was just thinking that, and you guys said it. That works with me, with you guys. I'll be thinking of something, and I'll be damned, there's the story, exactly what I was thinking. So thank you for that.
Well, good.
Little Miss.
Good to know that.
Deputy Managing Editor. Okay.
And
yes.
Wait, I just want to say one more thing real quick.
Yep.
With those VIP things, there's just straight VIP for Red State, but there's VIP Gold, which is not much more, and that gives you VIP access across all of the town hall sites, which would be PJ Media, Hot Air, Town Hall, Twitchy, and Bearing Arms.
Oh, wow, okay.
Right.
Yeah, so just saying.
Okay, get off my back, you and Ken.
A conglomerate of information.
Hey, you know what? Here's another question.
Here we go.
No, shut up. Here's another question about your site. Who is Larry?
Oh, Larry O'Connor.
That picture is Larry O'Connor?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what he looks like. I mean, I know what he sounds like, but I don't know what he looks like. I know
Doug Blair's
Douglas
friend.
Blair works with him. Thank you, Thunder Stealer.
Yeah.
But I never knew what he looked like, and I see his face, and I'm like, is this a comedy bit or what? 'Cause
Yeah.
I just see his
So
face.
they're
on
doing,
everything.
yeah, they're doing all those videos with those kind of video shorts with Larry. So they kind of promote that on all the sites. But yeah, that's Larry O'Connor, who I accidentally sometimes say Larry O'Connor when I mean Larry Connors, and Larry Connors when I mean Larry O'Connor.
Yeah. And then don't confuse Connor Roofing, because that's Conner.
Totally different, right? Exactly.
Roofing.com.
All right, more to the point. What can we expect coming up here in a couple of minutes?
I did not do a new one for today. I was so busy and so swamped yesterday, I did not get a chance to. So I don't have a new one. I mean, there was the one on Wednesday. I don't know if it's still playing or not, but that was about the fact that while money is fungible, people are not.
Oh, yeah. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, okay, fungible became this big buzzword all of a sudden. We start talking about the money that was, that was released to Iran that maybe being held now, who knows. And the argument from the Biden administration was like, oh no, none of that's been spent yet. And the obvious argument to people with with a brain cell was like, yeah, money is fungible. So the fact that you've got money coming in means you can spend the money you have on other things.
Right.
It was a very elemental thing. So I kind of did a little riff on that because I still remember the exact moment when I learned what the word fungible meant.
Mm-hmm.
I was in law school, and the professor mistook me for my roommate. And then when we all kind of pointed it out to him, he said, well, you two are fungible. And I was like, well, I don't know what that means. So I had to look it up. And when I looked it up, I was like, well, that's kind of rude.
Yeah, it was actually. I was going to say, that's kind of a rude remark.
Oh my
So
God!
that was the basis for money is fungible, people are not, and the people that have been murdered and massacred in the midst of all this, they are not replaceable either.
Right.
So that's the whole point of that.
Did you look like that other girl?
Yeah, we were both blonde and slender. I mean, we didn't look that much alike, but she was my roommate.
Because my mother.
So people confused us.
My mother and her sister, who were only a year or so apart, or maybe a little
Mm-hmm.
more, when they both went to Barringer High School in Newark, New Jersey, they looked so much alike, and they weren't twins. They were just a couple of years. They used to go to each other's classes if they had to. Like,
wow!
Would you go to?
Oh, wow!
Yeah, that's how much they looked alike. So anyway, I don't know why I thought of that.
Yeah, no, we didn't look that much alike. People just always saw us as a pair, and then they could never remember which one of us was which.
Follow Susie Moore on Twitter, Smoozy Q, Deputy Managing Editor at RedState.com, at Red State, right?
At Red State. That's
Red
right.
State. That's Smoozy Q. Thank you so much, Susie. We'll talk next week.
Thanks, you guys. Have a good weekend.
Bye, Susie.
I know I shouldn't have brought up the VIP thing.
Why?
Now I got to get it.
No, I'm
cheap.
I know. I have to too. So.
All right.
It's Friday.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. All right. So, Ken.
Yeah, Vic.
There's something I want to bring up next that has nothing to do with Israel or Hamas or anything.
Okay.
And it's something that I've been meaning to do all week, and we'll get to that as soon as we get back. Oh, wait, Ken. Yeah, and we'll give away tickets for Bachman Turner Overdrive. That's all next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. The Vic Porcelli Show.
My grandfather, Finnegan Scranton, would really be proud of me right now.
No say-winding, bushwhacking, hornswoggling, croaker is gonna roll away Biscuit Cutter.
Made in St. Louis, for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
John Michael Montgomery. Live. The multiple Grammy, CMA, and ACM award winner. John Michael Montgomery with McBride and the Ride. Friday, October 20th at the Family Arena. Reserved seats are on sale now at the Carroll House box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. John Michael Montgomery, live in concert. Ruben Studdard and Clay Aiken.
2020, the tour. Reunited 2 decades after their storied run on American Idol. Ruben and Clay. Friday, October 27th at the Family Arena. Tickets on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office, located at the Family Arena or at Ticketmaster. Ruben Studdard and Clay Aiken.
Hi, it's Todd Showalter from The Right Mind Show. Don't let going to the office become a grind unless it's a gourmet grind from DiscountCoffee.com. Enjoy coffee house blends that can't be found in stores. And don't be fooled by coffee services that lock you into paying more over time. DiscountCoffee.com has the very same coffee brands and supplies for less shipped directly to your door. Plus, save 15% off your order with the promo code RightMind. That's DiscountCoffee.com.
This is the perfect time to upgrade your home. Mike Ferguson here from my friends at Window World. Their number is 314-993-1800. Improve your home with Window World's double-strength glass windows. Those come with a lifetime warranty that covers all parts, glass breakage, and labor. 314-993-1800. Get a free in-home estimate. Window World is the preferred window of the St. Louis Blues. 314-993-1800 or windowworld.com.
I'm Susie Moore, and this is More to the Point. I can tell you the exact moment when I first learned the word fungible. I was a first year in law school, and my roommate and I, who shared a passing resemblance to one another in that we were both blonde and slender, sat next to one another in our contracts class. The professor called one of us by the other's name, and when this was brought to his attention amidst some laughter, quickly noted that we were fungible, which resulted in more laughter, including my own, though I secretly wondered what the word meant. I looked it up as soon as I got back to my dorm room and thought, well, that's rather rude and dismissive, but then again, so was the professor. That word has been bandied about quite a bit over the past few days, as the recent release by the U.S. of $6 billion to Iran has been roundly criticized in the face of the horrific terrorist attack carried out by its proxy Hamas in Israel. While the Biden administration and its defenders vehemently insist not 1 cent of that money has been spent yet, those with a fundamental understanding of currency and an ounce of intellectual honesty have repeatedly pointed out that money is fungible, and the promise of big bucks to cover humanitarian needs frees up other funds to cover the inhumanitarian deeds. But while money is fungible, the people who've paid the price for Hamas barbarity are not, nor are they replaceable.
Susie Moore is Deputy Managing Editor for RedState.com. For more to the point and everything Susie Moore, log on to RedState.com. Follow Susie on Twitter at SmoozyQ and keep listening to 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
This is what's happening.
Citizens of Israel, we are at war.
The largest attack on Israel in a half century.
Surely President Biden will also support Israel as long as it takes to destroy Hamas.
1019 and 94.1.
The United States stands with the people of Israel.
News Talk STL.
Whoosh.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
Forget about it.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
David Bowie's fame. John Lennon on guitar.
I thought it was called Whoosh.
Whoosh.
The United Whoosh of America. Okay. Speaking of Whoosh Boy, Commander. Can we talk about Commander for a second?
Yeah.
So, Joe Biden has a German Shepherd that doesn't live at the White House anymore. He was evicted from the White House because he.
By the way, when they say that, is he gone like in the back to the kennel? Is he being neutralized or
euthanized?
I don't know.
Who knows? So Commander is this German Shepherd. German Shepherds, yes, are aggressive animals, but German Shepherds are one of the easiest breeds to train. One of the easiest breeds. And Ken brought up brilliantly last week. This is how long I've let this go without talking about it, and I apologize. You brought up, wasn't this dog trained and vetted to be the White House dog?
Of all places. You know?
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, when we get a dog, we train it the way Howie taught us when we had Muddy. You know, there are certain things, because it's funny, things that still work. Phantom, by the way, still kicking, still He's moving a little slow, but he's like the grouchy old man now in the house. We have this box that my wife plants things in, like the vegetables, the eggplant and stuff like that.
Sure.
And then there's a feeder, like a bird feeder next to that. So there's like a little lane for him to walk in from the yard, right? That's the way he always walks in, is through that little lane. And when I want him to come in, I'm like, all right, in the house, let's go. And he'll walk towards there. And if he even moves his head like he's going to walk, I'll go, nope. And he'll stop and he'll go the right way.
Yeah.
That no is so important, If you see a dog doing something wrong from across the room, you're supposed to say, nope, nope, nope. Walk towards him as you're saying nope, because let's not forget that dogs have no memory, no
right,
time.
Right.
So you have to say, when they hear no, when they're doing something wrong, they know why you're saying no. So you have to continue to say no, no, no until you get to them, and then growl at them and speak their language. We talked about that.
Right.
You got to
right,
be
right.
alpha, right? So, Commander, you're right, Ken. If they didn't ultimately train this dog, then that's on them.
Right.
Okay? If they did train him, Joe Biden has betrayed the trust of this dog, because there's a video of Joe kicking that dog.
Right.
If you go back and watch the video I think it's still on our Facebook page of me and Phantom.
Yeah.
When you do the abuse test, this was something that Howie taught us years ago. You'll know if a dog has been abused. You have him sit in front of you, and then you look mad at him and say, "Did you?" And then you put your arm up and make like you're going to hit him, but stop short and then just pet his head. If that dog flinches, clearly he associates that movement with being hit.
In the video, you actually, you looked like you were full speed hit at his head, and then like an inch above his head, you stopped and then just started petting him, and the dog did not even move.
Why?
Because he's not afraid.
He doesn't associate that movement with being hit.
Would you ever kick a dog like you saw
Mike,
Joe
I wouldn't
Biden
even
do
hit
it?
a dog.
I know. I saw that video of Joe kicking his dog, and I'm like, I put myself in that spot, and I'm like, how?
I'd bite him too.
Yeah. I would never ever do that to my dog.
Yep. So I think your point was brilliant, Ken.
Thanks, Vic.
Why wasn't this dog super duper trained? There's a video. I'm going to find it this weekend. I'll send it to you, and you do what you do here. This guy's got a German Shepherd, and this dog sits at the guy's feet and looks up at him. That's another thing. When your dog looks up to you for approval, right?
Yeah.
If I open the front door of my house, Phantom will walk up to it, and then he'll look at me, and if I say, okay, he'll go. If I don't say it, he won't.
Yeah.
He looks at you for approval because you are alpha. So this guy has this German Shepherd. He's looking up at him, and then he'll say in German to run, right? And the dog will run. And then he'll yell, stop, in German. And this dog looks like a cartoon character. He stops and slides about 2 or 3 feet.
Right.
And he brings something back. It's amazing. This dog that I'm talking about in this video will never bite anyone, ever.
Yeah.
And it's all about atmosphere. I told you about a video that I saw that I can't stop watching. This girl's maybe 3 or 4 years old. She still has a diaper. You can see the diaper hanging out of her little shorts.
You showed me that video. Yeah.
This girl, for comfort, first of all, this Great Dane, right? This enormous dog is sitting with her on the couch.
Monster dog.
What?
Monster-sized
Oh, my
dog.
God, he's so big. And she's using him as like a comforter, Yeah. She's like leaning up against him, and he's kind of the chair. And she reaches up, and she's got her entire arm.
While watching TV.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, just hanging out, her entire arm in the dog's mouth. And he's gnawing, but he's not gnawing hard because he's having fun with it too.
Yeah.
But it's her comfort. She does it. And the mother's taking video, and the mother's laughing, going, what are you doing? And then the girl turns around, like, what do you mean? This is what I do.
This is what I do.
I stick my arm in the dog's mouth.
Yeah.
Can you do that with Commander? Probably not.
No, you'd lose an arm.
He will get aggressive, and he'll bite.
And he's bitten 12 people. Well, he bit 12 people until he was gone.
And it's hard for me to put it into words. Can I go back to Muddy for a while?
Yeah.
Muddy was the greatest dog ever. I hope Phantom's not listening right now. But Muddy is number 1, and Phantom is 1A. I can't even say that Phantom's number 2. He's 1A.
Yeah.
But Muddy, if I were to go up to Jessica and just clap my hands near her, he'd get up and he'd put his mouth on my arm. He wouldn't bite down. He'd be like, hey, no hitting.
Stop that.
What's going on here? You go over there. You go over there. because he was, oh, my God. Jessica used to work at this desk at home, and Muddy would sit where your feet go all day. He would just lay there in a curl with her and protect her all the time. When you sleep, where do your dogs sleep? Near the bed?
No, sometimes on the bed.
That's even better.
Yeah.
But if they don't sleep on the bed, they sleep near the bed,
Oh,
near
yeah.
you.
Oh.
That is for instinctually protecting you. That's why they do it. Phantom lays, if I fall asleep on the couch, Phantom is right along the couch, right there.
Yeah, we have Nico's bed right there next to the bed. But something you mentioned earlier that it really just kind of struck me. With Rudy, when someone comes to the door or someone comes in the house, he will bark, but he'll run to me and he'll sit next to me.
Exactly.
He'll
He's
sit down.
protecting you.
And either that or also you said something about being the alpha male. Maybe he's checking in because he does look up at me like,
That's right.
oh, okay, what's next?
He's looking
pal?
at you for approval.
Okay.
That's
so
why he does that.
That's really interesting. And Nico, when I'm tickling Caddy,
Yeah.
he'll run up and
Gets mad,
he'll
right?
actually try to bite her.
Oh, wow.
So it's funny.
Hey, don't let him tickle you. What are you doing? So another thing, Phantom's a big dog, right? You know how big Phantom is. He's over 100 pounds. If you come in my house, he will never, ever jump on you. Ever. He just doesn't do it.
I need to get my dogs that training.
Here's what you do. When they jump, you just put your hand in the middle of their back between their shoulder blades. You push them down and you say, no. Ken, I swear to God, in less than a week, he will never jump on anybody ever again.
Wow.
Phantom will just wag his tail. He's the welcomer. Hi, how you doing? Can I sniff you? Well, you got a good smelling crotch. Okay, that's good. Come on in. That's what they do, right? God, dogs are so stupid, and yet they're so great. And as Dan Bongino says all the time, we just don't deserve dogs.
No.
Okay, so I got 1 minute. Okay, 30 seconds each here. A couple was spent their 10th anniversary in the wilderness.
Yeah.
And they found Sasquatch.
Did they?
They found Sasquatch. They got pictures of him walking. It's Sasquatch. I know what you're thinking. No, Vic, it's probably John Fetterman. Nope. It's Sasquatch. I swear to God. Do you believe in that stuff? You believe in Sasquatch?
I didn't know either way, but if you've got pictures, I want to see that.
It's on FoxNews.com.
Wow.
Or is it on Red State? I don't know. But
so they get close enough to where we could actually see?
Well, no. I mean, what? So you get eaten by a Bigfoot? No.
Well, no, but I mean, it could be
Close
somebody
enough.
in an outfit.
Ken, there's no... I don't know.
You know what I'm saying, though?
It's wilderness. I mean, if this were somebody in an outfit, he would have to walk miles to get out of that outfit or get back into it, or a phone booth like Superman did. Something.
I just wouldn't put it past anybody.
I wouldn't either. And I only did it for the Fetterman joke. Okay.
Okay.
But this couple says...
I'll have to look it up now, though.
Couple says they found Sasquatch. And finally, little sad news, Walt Garrison, Dallas Cowboy legend, Super Bowl champion, passed away. He was 79 years old.
Wow. Okay.
So if I say Walt Garrison and Ken, you say, oh, yeah, Dallas Cowboys, Super Bowl. If you have no sports knowledge whatsoever, and I'm not putting you down because right now in 2023, I have zero current sports knowledge.
Well,
But if I said, just put a pinch between your cheek and gum,
Mm-hmm.
then you know who Walt Garrison is, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't remember him being a football player, remember him being just a pinch between your cheek and gum. All right, let's give away some tickets. Is that cool?
Yeah, we got Dave. You
Dave.
Hi, just say hi.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Talk about Vic Thunderstealer. I was getting ready to say that.
Say what?
A pinch between your cheek and gum.
Well, it's my show. I you know.
Well, I know it's your show. It's called the Vic Porcelli Show.
If I thundersteal, it's okay because it's my show.
Well, I'm working on getting it called to the Ken Williams Show with Vic Porcelli.
That'll be soon.
Yeah, right.
That'll
Yeah,
be soon.
right.
Don't you worry about it.
I
I
don't
keep
want that
screwing
to
up in
happen.
here. That'll happen. So is
Hey,
that what? Yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, buddy.
No, I didn't know if that was what you called for or if you called for something else.
No, actually, everything they said about President Trump, what he's going to do, obviously Stupid is doing and has done. All I would do is play a clip all the time whenever Trump... Here, remember they said I was going to do? And show a highlight of Stupid. Well, what they said I was going to... And show another highlight of Stupid.
I love it. You know, last night I had the craziest thought. I said, what if somehow I could get an audience with Joe Biden? Just me and Joe in the Oval Office talking. And I'd like to say to him, and maybe not even recorded, just between him and me, right? Mr. President, you campaigned on good-paying union jobs, and then you eliminated good-paying union jobs when you closed the XL pipeline. Do you hate Trump that much that it cost you to lie on your campaign promise when you got rid of those? You know what I mean? Just have this conversation with him. But I don't even think that would work.
You know what would happen? He would respond with a little snicker, little lip snicker, and then he would say, "That's above my pay grade."
He would say,
You know what,
My old dad
Vic,
used to say.
anybody that has somebody or knows somebody that has a relative, a friend, or whatever that is an affliction of dementia. My mom unfortunately died from it, and that's my mom. So here's something that I've been thinking about. I don't think he's smart enough to hate anybody until they give him his medicine. But here's the question: do the Clintons, do the Bushes, do the Obamas hate Donald Trump that much to control the riding bag of oatmeal? And the answer is yes.
I would say yes, right? I would say that answer is
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
All right, Dave, listen, we're so late. That's my fault, not
Thank you,
yours.
guys.
Thank you. Have a great
See you,
weekend.
brother.
So now what?
Let's do it.
Now?
Let's do it.
Bachman Turner Overdrive is coming to the Family Arena on October the 19th. That is next Thursday. We've got some tickets for you right now.
One pair.
One
pair
One
left.
lucky winner right now at 314-912-1019. We'll get the pair of tickets for the BTO and Mark Farner.
Yeah.
Leader of Grand Funk Railroad for so many years.
Yeah.
So you're going to hear, any idea how many great classic tunes you're going to hear at this concert?
Oh, yeah.
Tickets are available right now through Ticketmaster, and you can pick up tickets at the Family Arena box office all the way up to the day of the show. Bachman Turner Overdrive, October 19th, 314-912-1019. First caller in gets the tickets. Wheel of Audio Clips is next on 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
You're listening to The Vic Porcelli Show. Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL. Columbo and Katie.
The White House says Iran has not accessed the $6 billion in funds released in the prisoner swap. Vic Porcelli and Gabe Pfeiffer join me on Friday to talk about this and so much more.
Weekdays at 2 on News Talk STL.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness 101. Wellness 101 is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense, science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on News Talk STL. For more information, visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
Now, the Free Market Minute, brought to you by the Hammond Institute for Free Enterprise at Lindenwood University.
I'm here with Dr. Howard Wall. Howard, we're hearing a lot of debate over inflation, but just to back up a little bit, what is inflation?
Inflation occurs when the economy has too much money chasing too few goods. That extra money sloshing around has to go somewhere, and it ends up as higher prices for just about everything.
So what does transitory inflation mean?
Well, there are temporary things like pandemics, wars, and such that restrict supply and raise the prices of sensitive goods like oil. But the root cause of sustained inflation, like we've been seeing, is money. As happens when inflation sets in, fingers are pointed at corporate greed and price gouging, as if those things rise and fall with the economy. Don't be fooled. Loose money got us into this mess, and only tighter money will get us out of it.
The John W. Hammond Institute for Free Enterprise at Lindenwood University fosters and examines market-oriented approaches to economic and social issues. To learn more, visit hammondinstitute.org.
Fox News commentary.
A biological male best known for tanking iconic American brands has been crowned Woman of the Year at Virgin Atlantic Attitude Awards. Long live the patriarchy, I guess? I'm Tommy Lahren. More next.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
woman can do, a man can do better? Well, I guess that's the prevailing philosophy at the 2023 Virgin Atlantic Attitude Awards, as trans TikTok influencer Dylan Mulvaney was crowned Woman of the Year. Mulvaney is, of course, a biological male that has documented his transition to womanhood on social media, most notably celebrating 1 year as a woman with a commemorative Bud Light can and ad campaign that has since tanked the brand. You know, I get these Attitude Awards are skewed towards the LGBTQ community, but to name a biological man as Woman of the Year is just another nail in the coffin for feminism. Yet don't expect to hear anything out of the liberal feminist movement on this. They don't advocate for women, our sports, our spaces, and their silence on these matters is deafening. Congrats, Dylan, and long live the patriarchy. I'm Tommy Lahren.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Now, even as we evolve our institutions and drive creative new partnerships, let me be clear. Certain principles of our international system are sacrosanct.
On NewstalkSTL.
All right, welcome home to 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome to radio at the speed of sound. We got to move and move fast. Before we even get to the Wheel of Audio, who won the tickets, Ken? Who's our winner?
Yeah, congratulations to Tom of St. Louis.
Okay, Tom, thanks so much for listening. Enjoy that show. Okay, let's go.
All right.
Let's go. Sometime this month. Let's go!
Wheel of Audio Clips!
It's America's favorite game show, the Wheel of Audio Clips. Here's the host of Wheel of Audio Clips, Vic Porcelli.
Thank you, Jim Osmond, very much. Thank you, everybody. Thanks to our studio audience. Thank you, ladies. How you doing? Boy, you listen to this show, you must say, God, that Vic is such a jerk. The way he talks to Ken. How does he work with him? How do you, Ken?
You ought to hear me after we get on the break.
Oh, my God. He gets out the whip, starts hitting me. Okay, so we take all the audio clips that we played all week. We put it up on the wheel. Ken spins the wheel wherever it stops. That's what we listen to. Sometimes it's people we do want to hear. Sometimes it's not. Let's go. Spin that wheel. Let's move it. Radio at the speed of sound.
That's right. Which is a good idea.
What is that supposed to mean? Oh, right. Okay, let's go. And it lands on, of course it does, painfully confused Joe Biden.
I just, look, I mean...
Yeah.
Listen right here. Listen.
I'll never forget. Well, I won't go into that. Anyway, I just think that if we stay true to our values...
He forgot what he'll never forget. I know. Of all phrases, I'll never forget. I forgot. Spin the wheel. So bad. It's so bad that we have to subject ourselves to this kind of idiocy. All right. Let's see if we can find somebody we like on the wheel today. Okay. Democrat Senator Ed Markey thought he was going to be wise and smart and bring
everybody
up
in their place.
Yeah, right. Put all us conservatives in our places. It did not go well.
There must be a de-escalation of the current violence. The United States should...
He shut right up.
Oh, yeah. You should have seen Liz Warren. Okay, well, maybe not.
If that was a cartoon, there would have been votes flying away. All votes would have had wings and flew away. Because that's what he saw. He saw votes flying away because he said something stupid, and then he paid the consequence for that. All right. Again, that was Democrat Senator Ed Markey. Okay. Spin the wheel. Radio at the speed of sound here, baby. We got a lot of stuff to squeeze into a little bit of time. Well, we're never gonna get where we want to go with another Joe Biden clip. But listen carefully to this. We didn't catch on to this till we were talking about it for a minute or so when we played it during the week. Go ahead.
The Department of Homeland Security and the Federal Bureau of Investigation are working closely with state and local law enforcement and Jewish community partners to identify and disrupt any domestic threat that could emerge in connection with these horrific attacks.
Any domestic threat
related
to these horrific attacks. What he really means there is anybody who sees somebody who is Palestinian or Hamas or at a pro-Palestine rally, if you inflict any violence on them, that's what they're looking out for, not to protect Jewish people in this country.
And I think on a side note that they were probably looking at, the MAGA extremists as well as being domestic terrorists.
Exactly.
Just my opinion.
And we played that earlier in the week, and I was like, wait a minute, domestic terrorists, that's us.
Yeah.
We're the terrible domestic MAGA extremists. God, they
radicals
suck so bad. Spin the wheel. Here we go. We're doing good here, Ken. Radio at the speed of sound is moving right along. All right. So no Biden, but it does land on CNN's Jake Tapper, who had an eye-opening epiphany.
These last few days have been a real eye-opening period for a lot of people, a lot of Democrats, a lot of progressives, in terms of anti-Semitism on the left. A lot of people who seem more shocked at dehumanizing language used by world leaders to describe Hamas than what Hamas actually perpetrated on Saturday.
So I'm not saying Jake Tapper has seen the light.
No.
To leave CNN?
No.
And tell some truth once in a while, because he's told some whoppers of lies in his career. But for at least him to say anti-Semitism from the left, from the progressives, is a big step.
Yeah.
It's a big step.
It is.
I mean, CNN, they have dozens of listeners, right?
Well, at least tens.
Tens of listeners.
Tens, I tell you.
Tens, I say. Oh, my goodness. It's tough, man. I'm telling you. You think this job is easy? It's not. Not easy. Here we go.
Ooh,
this is
man.
an interesting piece of audio here,
yeah.
okay? First of all, we have to spin. No, we don't. We have to
spin.
Engage the Wayback Machine. Set the dials for 2009, please. All right, here we go.
Oh.
Rough landing.
Yeah.
Watch those landings. So now we are now in the year 2009. Anthony Blinken was nominated by Barack Obama to be the Deputy Secretary of State.
Mm-hmm.
The late John McCain told everybody what we forgot, and now it's time for him to remind us again.
Madam President, I rise to discuss my opposition to the pending vote concerning Mr. Tony Blinken, who is not only unqualified, but in fact, in my view, one of the worst selections of a very bad lot that this president has chosen. I hope that many of my colleagues will understand that not often do I come to the floor to oppose a nomination of the President of the United States, because I believe that elections have consequences. In this case, this individual has actually been dangerous to America and to the young men and women who are fighting and serving it.
That was the warning from John McCain. This man is dangerous. He is a danger and a threat to people who serve and defend this country. We forgot to listen to him posthumously.
Yeah.
And now Anthony Blinken is the Secretary of State.
For him to come out and say, because if you remember, John McCain never did stuff like that. He wasn't any kind of a flamethrower,
Nope.
and
Nope.
he just sat back.
Appointments, he would be like, yeah, okay, I'll vote to confirm.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah.
All right, get us back to the president.
Oh, that's right. We had a.
What are you
No,
crazy?
I
spinning the wheel
I would have
while
had
we're
all
in the
this
past?
audio from back then.
Who knows what? Do you know what could have happened to the time-space continuum?
I know. Don't cross the streams.
Marty. All right, we're back. I'm so stupid. I swear to God. God bless you for listening to this show. All right, so we do have time for one more piece of audio.
Come on.
Wouldn't it be great, Ken? Oh, my God, we got our wish. President Donald John Trump.
And I don't get a jury. So even if I had a tough jury, I'd win. But I'm not allowed to have a jury. Nothing to do with checking a box. You know what that did? Or said, oh, the lawyer. No, you can't check a box. There's no box to check. They did it under a Consumer Frauds Act. Can you believe this? Where I did everything right, built this great company, and now they find out that the company's worth much more than the financial statement, and they found out I have what's called a disclaimer clause. It's a little complicated, but not too complicated. There was no fraud. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. And they've been totally discredited, and it's a disgrace that a thing like that can go on.
It's true. Mar-a-Lago, is only worth $18 million.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it was $20 million, but it went down.
It's the only property in America that lost value. Right. So stupid. Donald John Trump, the 45th and soon-to-be 47th President of the United States. And I'm not kidding. We need him. We need him back.
Yeah, we do.
But don't worry. Hold on. He's coming.
Remember, they're coming after me because I'm standing up for you.
Thank you, Mr. President, very much. That's all the time we have for the Wheel of Audio Clips. Don't forget to get your liberal spayed or neutered to help control the liberal population. Boy, I get that wrong unless I hear the music. It's weird. There we go. That's all the time we have for the Wheel of Audio Clips. This is Vic Porcelli saying, help control the liberal population. Get your liberal spayed or neutered. Goodbye, everybody. And I really mean goodbye, everybody. We're done. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for having the record player on at night to listen to us this morning. Every morning at night. Thanks. Appreciate it. See you Monday.
So tough, I think I've had enough until the weekend. Here come the weekend. Here come the weekend.
So long-term care can be stressful on the heart. It can be stressful on the wallet, and that's the most important thing, that somebody like Chris Cooper can help you. Chris Cooper from Serenity Wealth Management will help you with long-term care expenses in the form of tax incentive and efficient solutions for your asset protection. He's a CPA, financial strategist, long-term care planning specialist. You put all that together, we call it the triple threat, and Chris is here to help you. And how did he start it? He started with writing a book that the poor guy had no intention of making any money on. The book is called The CPA's Guide to Tax-Free Strategies and Strategies for Long-Term Care, and you can get it absolutely free. That's the first thing. Then you get on the phone with Chris and you call him and you get more tax-efficient solutions, okay? So get that book for free at SerenityLTC.com. That's SerenityLTC.com. Serenity Now with Chris Cooper.
Investment advisory and financial planning services offered through Simplicity Wealth, LLC, SEC registered investment advisor. This is a paid endorsement. Insurance, consulting, and education services offered through Serenity Wealth Management.
Serenity Now!
Talk radio made in St. Louis.
Very excited for what you guys are doing for the St. Louis community.
For St. Louis. Relevant local talk.
Saying what we are thinking.
This is News Talk STL.
No, you guys are awesome. I love you. And it's a tremendous honor to be on the station.
News, analysis, and opinion.
Thanks for covering the local angle.
Come on, people. This is America.
We better open our eyes.
Really local, really good.
News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1,
and NewstalkSTL.com.
Tony Colombo here with a great offer from Zero Res. Just mentioned the Colombo special. When you book a cleaning in October, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at just $129 plus $50 off an air duct cleaning. We've trusted Zero Res with our home for years, and 5,000 Google reviews with an average of 4.9 out of 5 says it all. Zero Res is the best when it comes to cleaning any surface in your home. Just remember to mention the Colombo special when you call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
This Saturday night at 10 on Stories of New Americans.
I'm joined by Frances Summerhoff from Australia originally.
My mum came over later. She came over already married to my dad. They got married by proxy.
Wow.
So my mum was in Madeira and my dad was in Perth, Western Australia, and they got married, like by radio, I guess. So my dad had a stand-in bride and my mum had a stand-in groom.
Stories of New Americans, Saturday nights at 10 on News Talk STL.
Ackerman Toyota has the 2024 models. You're going to be impressed.
Check them out in person at Ackerman Toyota, Hampton, and Interstate 44. In fact, you've got to see the 2024 Toyota Sequoia. Very impressive. This is the time to buy and get top dollar for your vehicle. Looking for pre-owned? Ackerman Toyota can also help you. Ackerman Toyota at Hampton and 44. AckermanToyota.com. Ackerman Toyota for life.
The ultimate tribute to the Beatles brings you their best show ever. The Fab Four live. The Fab Four performs the Beatles' Rubber Soul in its entirety, plus all the Beatles' greatest hits. Don't miss the show for the whole family. Witness the best Beatles show in the world. Saturday, October 21st, the Family Arena. Reserve seats on sale now at Ticketmaster.
His legendary soulful voice is unmistakable. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee Al Green returns to the concert stage. A night of iconic hits from the 13-time Grammy Award winner Al Green with special guest Betty LaVette. Saturday, November 25th at the Family Arena. Tickets on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena and Ticketmaster.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNVS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
John Scott. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has met in Israel with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Austin says the U.S. military is standing by to assist if needed.
The USS Gerald R. Ford Carrier Strike Group is now in the region, led by the largest aircraft carrier in the world. We've augmented U.S. fighter aircraft squadrons in the Middle East, and the U.S. Department of Defense stands fully ready to deploy additional assets if necessary.
Austin spent nearly 2 hours with Israel's Minister of Defense and its war cabinet. His quick trip comes a day after Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrived in the region. From there, Blinken traveled to Jordan to meet with King Abdullah in Amman and is now in Qatar. Meanwhile, an expected Israeli ground invasion of Gaza is looming. Also at townhall.com, Louisiana GOP Congressman Steve Scalise ending his bid to become House Speaker. That's after failing to secure the votes to win the gavel. Correspondent Lisa Dwyer with details.
Republican Steve Scalise told his GOP colleagues at a closed-door meeting that he is no longer running for Speaker of the House. He had been furiously working to secure votes after being nominated by a majority of his colleagues, but after hours of private meetings over 2 days and late into the evening on Capitol Hill, it was clear lawmakers were not budging from their refusal to support him. Scalise was trying to peel off more than 100 votes, mostly from those who backed his chief rival, Jim Jordan, favored by hardliners who announced he was no longer in the running and had tossed his vote to Scalise. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
And on Wall Street, stocks have now turned lower. The Dow 21 points in the red. The NASDAQ losing 159 points. More at townhall.com.
Urgent Camp Lejeune settlement message. On September 6th, the government announced it will soon begin providing fast, guaranteed settlements to Camp Lejeune Marines, families, and civilians. Awards will range between $100,000 and $550,000, with an option for higher amounts. If you or a loved one spent time at Camp Lejeune and suffered cancers of the bladder, liver, or kidneys, leukemia, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, Parkinson's, or kidney issues, you may qualify for compensation and could be paid within 60 days after accepting your settlement, with your VA benefits fully protected. You may be entitled to a significant financial award for your Camp Lejeune claim, but you must act now. Call the James Harris Law Camp Lejeune helpline now to get the compensation you deserve. We're already fighting for thousands harmed by the water at Camp Lejeune. Call now or you may forever lose your right to be awarded a settlement between $100,000 and $550,000. For your free evaluation, call 800-320-7171. That's 800-320-7171. 800-320-7171.
German police say 7 people have died after a crowded minivan driven by a suspected people.
From the Michael's Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
After a dry morning rush for the metro, rain chances ramp up quickly. Want you to be ready for periods of rain and some rumbles of thunder through midday into the afternoon. The cold front responsible for all this moves through late this afternoon and this evening. That could bring one more brief shower along with it. Otherwise breezy, cooler, a high of only around 71. Tonight, mostly cloudy, dropping to 54. The weekend has autumn written all over it. Lots of clouds, highs only in the upper 50s to near 60, and an occasional sprinkle or shower. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Rodney and Jen Wallner and the entire Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Call them today at 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD.
Hey, Tony Colombo here for Gutter Pros. When Christine and I bought our new house, we knew the gutters were an issue, and after meeting the Gutter Pros team, we knew that they were right for us. Gutter Pros is your all-in-one gutter service team that offers a variety of affordable solutions, and they even offer free estimates, so there's no cost to you to find out if they are right for your home, just like they were for ours. If you're having a problem with your gutters, contact the Gutter Pros now, because with Gutter Pros, water goes where they tell it to. Call them at 314-656-7195 or visit gutterpros.com.
Steph's Pizza is on the move to Lake St. Louis. That's right, you can now get the legendary Steph's Pizza and Pasta in Lake St. Louis, 111 Pond Fort Trail. Steph's Pizza, where Mondays you get a large pizza for the price of a small, and it just got more convenient for pickup or delivery in Lake St. Louis. Steph's Pizza in the Chesterfield Valley on Long Road, in St. Peters on Jungerman, and now in Lake St. Louis at 111 Pond Fort Trail. Check them out at stephspizza.com. Tonight's a good night for Steph's Pizza.
Tony Colombo here, reminding you to visit my friends at Bluff City Outdoors in Alton before your next trip into the great outdoors. For decades, Bluff City Outdoors has covered all the needs for area fishermen, and they'll always have all the best bait, tackle, and gear for your next trip on the water. And now they cover all your bow hunting needs, including their state-of-the-art indoor archery range and techno hunt system, open every day for you to come shoot, or you can join a league. Follow Bluff City Outdoors on Facebook and learn more at bluffcityoutdoors.com.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf.
800-240-4586. 800-240-4586. That's 800-240-4586.
Conservative talk for St. Louis.
It's your patriotic right and duty. The government needs to step up and do its job.
This is News Talk STL.
It's well-balanced conversation.
News, analysis, opinion. News, analysis, opinion. News Talk STL.
From the NYPD to the Secret Service to behind the microphone, taking the fight to the radical left and the putrid swamp. You're listening to the Dan Bongino Show. Here he is, Dan Bongino.
Yeah, today's going to be intense, man. So you're not ready. I understand. Just got done with a podcast, man, and a friend of mine reached out and said, you know, how you doing? I said, I'm not good, man. I'm not good. You want to know the truth? I'm not good. There's so much going on in the world right now. It's just hard to, take it all in. I spent my whole life in a career, and all you did in that career was think about what bad guys, horrible things they would do to when you're trying to keep people alive. And, you internalize a lot of that, and you start to lose it, man. And the craziest thing, I'm doing my podcast, and I broke down at the end because I'm having a hard time just taking all this in, all the death and the torture and the slaughter and all this stuff. And I walk downstairs in the 5 minutes I get between shows. I just want to get some water and rinse my face off. And there's a boatload of people outside of my house that appear to be refugees from another country. Jim's like, you didn't tell me that. I know, because it just happened. My wife's on the phone with the sheriff right now. This is like the craziest thing. This is like, I don't know what it is. It's, man. Today's supposed to be the Savages' Day of Rage and Day of Jihad. So I'll start the show today with some commentary on that because it is their supposed Day of Rage. Jim, you may want to keep the buzzer handy today, just in case. I'll do my best, but I'm pretty sure. If you hear 7 seconds of the show missing, it's probably because Jim had to dump it. I'll try not to, but I think our affiliates will understand. You can take your Day of Rage, man, and crumple it up like a paper ball. Like a lot of paper, just crumple it up and, roll it into a ball. Maybe give it an edge, maybe a square or something like that. And you can take that square object Day of Rage you just kind of rolled up, because an edge would be really great, and you can just shove it up your ass. How does that sound? How does that sound? Because I've had a week of watching your videos, you demons, you savages of your murder spree, your torture, celebrating it. I love the zeros on Twitter who are like, it's so propaganda. Yeah, it is. It's their propaganda. It's theirs. The savage. They put this out on purpose. They wanted you to see. You think your Twitter account's going to save you? You think tweeting about the occupation, air quotes, is going to save you from the demons? You think it's going to save you? You think that's your salvation from these man beasts in their Day of Rage? The only proper response to the Day of Rage is tell them to shove it up their ass. You're cowards. What are you going to do? You're going to walk into a crowd and shoot it up? You want us to all sit inside and cower in our basements? Listen, folks, this threat is real. I'm not going to lie to you. This isn't some faux bravery, because I'm going out and doing my thing tonight. You know why? Not because I want to have a good time. I don't. I almost feel bad about it. I don't almost feel bad about it. I do. I feel really terrible about it. I'm going to go and enjoy myself tonight. My wife and I'm going to have a glass of wine. I haven't had one in a long time. You know why? Not because I want to, but because I have to. And you should too. Take your Day of Rage and stick it up your ass. We're not living like this. Those Israelis in those border towns in Gaza knew damn well they were living with a threat of rockets right in their backyard. I don't mean that figuratively. And they live there anyway. There are people right now working in downtown Manhattan knowing it's been hit by a massive terror strike twice, and they're still there. They're still there working right now. What's our excuse? Day of Rage. You can stick your Day of Rage up your ass. Sideways. Don't give a damn about your Day of Rage. I'm in a Day of Rage too. I'm enraged you shot innocent people at a music festival and took the rest hostage, some of them mortally wounded, sitting there rotting away with probably gangrene in their limbs as you let them and their families wonder what's going on with them. They go to sleep at night knowing their kids are suffering in pain. What do you think, they're giving them Vicodins? Day of Rage? You can take your Day of Rage and shove it up your ass. Folks, this week has been a tremendous, tremendous moment of clarity for me. Some people confused as to who I was. I don't know why. Maybe some of you just put your own transplanted your own issues onto me. I don't know. It's not you, the loyal folks in the audience, but there are some out there. Been dealing with a lot this week. Some of it I've talked about on the air, some not. But I've come under attack from mostly the left, but a number of people who try to claim our mantle on the right. They're not us. They're not us. What happened was brutal savagery. There's absolute moral clarity on that. The response to it is an absolutely fair debate. You should engage in. I will defend your free speech, God-given rights to do so. The response is fair enough. What do? We send money? Do we send weapons? Do we do nothing? Do we sit back and make statements? Fair enough. We have a country of 330 million people that are going to have different opinions. But there's no fence sitting on this, man. These savages don't care about you. These savages don't care about your Che Guevara shirt. They don't care what you write in your Twitter account about, this is all propaganda. It's a psyop. It's a psyop. What, do you think this didn't happen? What do you think happened this week, man? A picture of a baby bird, maybe AI. What? Bro, are you on crack? Let me ask you, even if it was, what's your point? What's your point? The Holocaust happened too. If someone puts out a fake picture tomorrow about the Holocaust, does that mean it didn't happen? What the is wrong with you? I don't know what side you thought I was on, man. But this is the savage versus the civilized human being. You know, sometimes in life you ask God for an answer to a question, right? I left the Secret Service to go try to become a United States Senator. And you know what? It wasn't for me. I asked God for an answer, and the answer was no. And I wound up here somehow. I never saw this happening, ever. I wanted to be a cop, and then I wanted to be an FBI agent, and then I wound up in the Secret Service. But I definitely wanted to go up to Capitol Hill and make a difference. And it didn't work. Voters said, nah, you're no good for us. I wasn't a politician. It's not for me. You tell by the way I talk, it was never going to work. But I wound up here. So God gave me an answer. And this is it. And he gave me this microphone. Through circumstances I couldn't control. We lost the greatest broadcaster in the history of this business, unexpectedly, even though he was sick. No one saw that coming. Believe me, I saw it from the inside. I never expected to find myself here, ever. Ever. But I am. And I'm going to use every opportunity to speak out for what's right. And I don't give a rat's ass if you have 100,000 followers on Twitter telling people everything's propaganda. And we got to look at these deaths in context. No, we got to look at our role in this, in the world in context, not these. You don't shoot a baby in the face or a woman in the back. Well, we don't know. We haven't seen the bodies. How freaking stupid are you, man? You think these savages care about you? These people will kill you. While you were sitting home wiping your rump because you crapped your pants because you ate too many s'mores watching porn in the basement, I was traveling around the world getting country briefs about savages in every corner of the world, and I saw the real pictures, man, not the Twitter version. You know what these people do? You ever have your fingernails ripped out? Eyeballs burned out? That's what these savages do. You ever sat there for a real country brief? Where a DSS RSO sits you down in some hot zone and says, hey, brother, be careful here. Here's what they do to people. You ever had one of those? Or you were too busy with your Lubriderm in your mama's basement watching YouPorn? When we went out around the world to these hot zones, and they said, Dan, go to Afghanistan and do this advance. There's no force protection team. It's you. You're the force protection team. You're out with a couple of guys in downtown Kabul in a windowless white van with 6 inches of armor and a flak jacket. There's nobody there to save you from the savage. You think because you wrote a Substack a week ago about the occupation that the savage isn't going to shoot you in the face too? What is wrong with you? And your stupid responses. What are you calling for, World War III? What are you, smoking meth? Have you ever heard that on this show? Ever? There's a show on the air that's done more to try to avoid a global apocalypse than this show, including now. I don't celebrate the death of any civilian, ever. Ever. Whether in Gaza, the West Bank, Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, or Sderot, nowhere. But ladies and gentlemen, the world is a garbage place sometimes. There's a lot of beauty, but there's a lot of trash. And there are demons everywhere. Everywhere. And death is a part of this. However unfortunate this is. You understand what the aftermath of the firebombing of Dresden looked like? What was your alternative? What was your alternative? You think the world is black and white? Oh, we shouldn't have done that. People burned alive. People burned alive in ovens, too. We dropped a nuclear bomb on 2 cities in Japan. A lot of really amazing, incredible people died horrible deaths. What the hell was your solution, bro? Substack writer, fake news, Max Blumenthal, jerkwad. What was your solution? What world do you live in? What do you expect these Israelis to do? Sit back and wait for round 2? If the savages would stop tomorrow, there'd be peace. If the Jews stopped tomorrow, there'd be annihilation, and that's a fact. And you know it. And you know it. You just want to see them dead. If you are motivated by a bloodlust for Jews, you just want to see them dead, and you know it. You can disguise it as all the little cutesy time tweets you want. But I want you to know, for every piece of garbage that tweeted to me this week, you've been exposed. Oh, someone's been exposed. But brother, it ain't me. It ain't me. I had a lot more to say. We'll be right back.
Bongino. Hi, it's Larry Elder, and I want to tell you about a man named George who wrote in about his experience with 100% drug-free Relief Factor. George drives a garbage truck in Oregon. That's 10 hours a day of limited movement. And guess what that does to a bad knee? It's not good. After a while, George could barely move at the end of his shift, and he wasn't really sure what he was going to do. That's when Relief Factor came into his life. George is still out there working hard every day, but now he does it without pain. Hundreds of thousands of people have tried Relief Factor, and about 70% of them go on to order more. If you're living with pain in your life, it's time to do something about it and give Relief Factor a try. I'm telling you, it can really change your life for the better. Your first step to becoming pain-free just might be to order the 3-week quick start for only $19.95. Go to ReliefFactor.com, that's ReliefFactor.com, or call 800-4RELIEF, 800-4RELIEF. Feel the difference.
Dan Bongino.
When it's important to you, stay informed. It's on News Talk STL.
They've got nothing on Joe Biden. If we had a box of all the foreign money the Bidens took, it would have reached to the ceiling.
The only thing the president can be guilty of here is being a father.
The House fails to fulfill its most basic function. We'll have failed all our troops.
News, analysis, and opinion.
The reason we got to this point was overspending amounts, lower spending levels.
101.9 and 94.1.
Gotta know what's happening.
News Talk STL.
I'm Missouri Lieutenant Governor Mike Kehoe. Buy Missouri promotes hundreds of businesses that manufacture quality products right here in Missouri. Visit buymissouri.net to find Missouri-made products, manufacturers, and retailers near you. Shop local every day, but especially during Buy Missouri Week, October 14th through the 21st. Together, we can support Missouri businesses and grow our state's economy. Visit buymissouri.net and follow @BuyMissouri on social media for more information.
Brought to you by the Missouri Lieutenant Governor's Office. 1949, the last time a Republican held the top post in St. Louis City. A gallon of milk was 84 cents, and streetcars ran down Grand Avenue. The city was booming. Unfortunately, St. Louis City streets are no longer the epicenter of family and business life. In the 80 years of Democrat control, our city has been on a steady decline. St. Louis City Republicans believe it is our duty to provide a different path forward. Learn more at stlouisrepublicans.com.
Paid for by St. Louis City Republican Pat Curtis, Farber Treasurer.
From home improvement to replacement, do-it-yourself electrical projects can be shocking. That's where Grasser Electric can help. They've been lighting up St. Louis for years. From ceiling fans and dimmer switches to repair or replacing your electric. No job is too big or too small for your home or business. Grasser Electric will even install emergency backup generators. So call Grasser Electric today before the sparks start to fly. 636-441-5200 or go to grasserelectric.com.
Columbo and Katie.
These things happen that you can't predict them with specificity, but you can know that they happen. And once they do happen, it is too late to prepare. Even the Israelis, Iron Dome usually protecting all of their towns and cities from most of the stuff that comes in, even they were caught by surprise. The world reminds us to take these issues seriously.
Tony Columbo, Katie Fitzpatrick, weekdays at 2 on Newstalk STL.
Hey, it's First Alert Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton from Channel 4, and we are proud to be the official weather source for News Talk STL. Just like you've grown to expect from us at Channel 4, you can expect the same accurate, detailed, and timely weather coverage from News Talk STL. The First Alert weather team will keep you ahead of the big weather changes. And the one thing you can count on in St. Louis, the weather is constantly changing. So Channel 4 and News Talk STL are committed to keeping you up to date and safe.
News, analysis, opinion. News Talk STL.
If you're looking for a really special gift this year, I encourage you to check out the firearms made right here in America by our friends at Henry Repeating Arms. Order a free holiday gift guide at henryusa.com and get free decals you can use for stocking stuffers. Folks, when you give someone a Henry, you're giving them a work of art that's built with the finest craftsmanship I've ever seen. Their performance is top-notch. Mine were accurate right out of the box and reliable. They shoot smooth and straight, and they've been reliable ever since. With over 200 models of rifles, shotguns, and revolvers to choose from, there's something for everyone at Henry Repeating Arms, including outdoorsmen, hunters, beginners, collectors, and those looking for home and land defense options. These are family heirlooms that can be passed down to future generations backed by their lifetime warranty. Put something that's made in America under the tree this Christmas. Go to henryusa.com to get your free gift guide and decals today. That's henryusa.com for a free gift guide and decals. You're going to love this company.
There are three things we really care about: God, family, and country. The Dan Bongino Show.
Well, some good news. So we had an incident here. This is how crazy the world is. I don't even live near Miami, folks. I mean, relatively speaking, Miami obviously is near the southern tip of Florida. You know, Miami, the Keys, Miami-Dade County. You know, that's typically where refugees from other countries would land. I live way, way north of there, but the refugee problem's gotten so bad that this is now the second time in the last, say, year or so that we've had boats of refugees land up here. So there's a boat behind my house, and this is how crazy it is. I thought that's what it was. Thankfully, it wasn't. The sheriff here is great, went out and investigated. Turns out it was a false alarm, which is great. But this is the crazy world we live in, that you see a weird, rickety boat of 20 people outside your house, and their first response is not, oh, look, your first response is, well, we've had a refugee problem here. It's just insane. So thanks to the sheriff. But listen, today's going to be a lot, man. So I just want you to understand it's going to be a heavy show. I understand if you're not ready for it. But I want to be clear on one thing, too, no matter how passionate I am about this issue and why. And I'm going to explain to you why next, why this means so much to me. I will never, ever, ever call for censorship of people, ever. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a huge mistake. I just had someone tweet to me, these people don't have the right. It's not even about one, as long as they're not breaking the law, they do have the right. They do. As long as they're not breaking the law, you can't threaten people. That's different. But that's not even my point. My point is purely tactical, too, from this perspective. Folks, these people are demons. You can push them into dark corners of the internet where they're going to plot amongst themselves, or you can let them expose themselves to the world so you can see the evil, stare it in the face, and respond. Censorship isn't the answer here. At all. They're only going to cause more problems. Last month, the G20 announced a plan to impose digital currencies and digital IDs on their population. Central bank digital currencies essentially could allow the government to track every purchase someone makes. Some believe it could even prohibit someone from purchasing certain products or freeze or seize part or all their money. Been warned about this forever. Concerned Americans are diversifying their assets into physical gold with the help of Birch Gold Group. If you want physical gold held in a tax-sheltered retirement account, call Birch Gold. I buy gold through Birch Gold. Why? Because I trust them. I've used them twice. Text Bongino, B-O-N-G-I-N-O, to 989898. They'll send you a free information kit on gold. Listen, if you have an IRA or 401k from a previous employer, Birch Gold can help you convert it to an IRA in gold, and you don't pay a penny out of pocket. Text Bongino to 989898. Diversify and claim your free information kit on gold, because if digital currency becomes a reality, it'll be nice to have some gold to fall back on. Performance may vary. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision. Message and data rates apply.
Dan Bongino.
Are you over? With SRN News, I'm John Scott. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has told Israeli leaders during his visit that the U.S. has their back in the first week of their war against the militant Hamas group. Austin met with Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and its defense minister and war cabinet. Meanwhile, an Israeli ground invasion of Gaza is looming. Louisiana Republican Steve Scalise has ended his bid to become House Speaker. That's after failing to secure the votes to win the gavel. A Philadelphia police officer shot and killed. A second officer has been wounded after they confronted people breaking into a car. It happened at Philadelphia International Airport. On Wall Street, stocks are mixed now. The Dow had 132 points, the Nasdaq off 115. This is SRN News.
Urgent Camp Lejeune settlement message. On September 6th, the government announced it will soon begin providing fast, guaranteed settlements to Camp Lejeune Marines, families, and civilians. Awards will range between $100,000 and $550,000, with an option for higher amounts. If you or a loved one spent time at Camp Lejeune and suffered cancers of the bladder, liver, or kidneys, leukemia, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, Parkinson's, or kidney issues, you may qualify for compensation and could be paid within 60 days after accepting your settlement, with your VA benefits fully protected. You may be entitled to a significant financial award for your Camp Lejeune claim, but you must act now. Call the James Harris Law Camp Lejeune helpline now to get the compensation you deserve. We're already fighting for thousands harmed by the water at Camp Lejeune. Call now or you may forever lose your right to be awarded a settlement between $100,000 and $550,000. For your free evaluation, call 800-320-7171. That's 800-320-7171. 800-320-7171.
The White House is lit blue tonight in solidarity with Israel.
News, analysis, opinion.
300,000 Israeli troops are now gathering.
This is a fight for Israel's survival.
1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Get ready for winter by making sure your family is warm and safe when the bone-chilling weather gets here. Mike Ferguson here for Anton's Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Energy Experts. Call them today to get your furnace tune-up. It's only $89, and it could save you hundreds or even thousands by preventing a breakdown. 314-338-3941 or AntonsHVAC.com. Anton's installed our HVAC system, and we love it. Put their expertise and excellent customer service to work for you, just like they did for my house. AntonsHVAC.com.
Newstalk STL is proud to have Doug Voss as part of our lineup every week. Doug has been a staple on St. Louis radio for many years as one of the leading financial experts in the area. You can hear Doug and Safe Money Radio 3 times every weekend on Newstalk STL. And in case you miss anything, you can check it all out at DougVossSafeMoneyRadio.com. What else do our listeners need to know, Doug?
Simply put, I focus on helping pre-retirees and retirees build, preserve, and protect retirement assets, and I've been helping my clients solve their insurance and financial needs for the past 33 years. I also strive to educate my clients on how to prepare for retirement, minimize the impact of market volatility on their assets, and deal with the challenges of increased longevity. Call me today at 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233.
Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP, member FINRA and SIPC.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
Friday, the horrors of ESG and ranked choice voting. Matt Crouch at 4:05 from Heritage Action. Dr. Aaron Hedlund, how bad is Biden's economy? 5:25.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Weekdays at 4 on Newstalk STL. News, analysis, opinion. Newstalk STL.
Any questions? Call 8444-the-USA to get the answers. 844-484-3872. The Dan Bongino Show.
Folks, I want to address something else, too, because social media is making the world dumber. There are a lot of benefits to it, tons of benefits, and there are awesome people out there, a lot of you. I'm reading your feedback on Facebook right now, and I'm genuinely touched, like really touched. It means so much to me. But there's a bunch of stuff going out there, too, and you have to understand this is 2 separate debates here. Politicians who are paid to be representatives of the public in a constitutional republic, a representative democracy. And I'm leaving the names out because it doesn't matter. Politicians should not be talking about holy wars and spiritual wars. That's not what you get paid to do. I am resolutely on the side of the civilized man in this war versus the savage, but that's not going to help the debate. But if you're asking me my opinion, I'm not a public official. I'm not paid by the public. I'm a human being who has very strong opinions about the afterlife, Almighty God, and Jesus Christ. If you're asking me if there is a religious, faith-based, or spiritual component to this, I would say to you, of course. Of course. Not by my doing, by the savages. Key, do you have that Hamas charter? Is it? I want to read this. As I saw a bunch of people talking about this, on holy wars. Politicians shouldn't be talking like that. But make no mistake, there is a holy war out there, not by your doing. This holy war is happening whether you acknowledge the holy war is happening or not. This is what I've been trying to tell you for the entire week. I told you before the break I was going to explain to you why this is so deeply impacting me and just tearing the heart out of me all week. Folks, I spent 12 years of my life doing nothing but thinking about savagery. It's hard, man. It's hard. All you do in my last line of work, all you do is see horrible stuff. That's it. You interview people who want to kill the president. We did computer crimes, which unfortunately involved child sex trafficking. We did have to arrest horrible people in the Joint Terrorist Task Force. You go overseas and you get a country briefing and all they tell you about is Jamaat Islamiyah and all the savages that want to kill people and what they do to people and how the FARC gives people Colombian neckties, and you spend your life in so much stress you don't even, like this, the suck is so immersive around you, you forget what being happy feels like. That's why the divorce rate in Secret Service was like 99%. Because you can't take it, man. You go back, you're like a crazy person. All you think about is, well, what would we do if this happens? And if they try to burn us alive? And this is not, you don't spend a moment's night's peace ever, man. And the one thing that keeps coming up, and what changed after 9/11, you got to remember, I got on in 99. 9/11 happened you're in training for about a year. 9/11 happened when I was a new agent. I was brand new. That's all I knew for my entire career was post 9/11. Everything changed. We realized we weren't dealing with John Hinckley anymore. We were dealing with 20 million John Hinckleys who just want to kill the infidel. So no politician should be talking about a holy war. It's not what you get paid to do. You get paid to think rationally. But no politician or anyone else should discount the fact that a holy war has been declared on you, whether you're part of it or not. They don't really care if you're partaking in it. There's not an authorization for it. It's not like going to the bounce zone where you got to sign in on an insurance waiver. You ever read the Hamas charter? They want to kill you. Israel will exist and will continue to exist until Islam will obliterate it, just as it obliterated others before it. Who do you think they're talking about? The day of judgment will not come about until Muslims fight Jews and kill them. Hamas regards itself the spearhead and the vanguard of the circle of struggle against world Zionism. Islamic groups all over the Arab world should also do the same, since they are best equipped for their future role in the fight against the warmongering Jews. You wonder why people like me worry about the spiritual component to this? You don't have to be a believer in any faith. The only thing they care about, the savage, is that you're not a believer in theirs. You understand that? I've seen so much troubling stuff this week on social media from a bunch of 20-year-old D-bags who never spent a day of their life in the suck anywhere, have no idea the gravity of this threat, tweeting to you about, that's an AI photo. That's really a dog. Is it a dog? Is it a burned baby? Damn, man, I don't know. I ain't a picture analyst. I can tell you what I do know. People I trust who do this for a living tell me everything you're hearing from credible journalists like Trey Yinks and others who were there. Oh, it happened. And you saying it didn't happen because you think it's a dog or a space alien rather than a baby ain't making any of it go away, bro. And it's not going to make the people calling for the obliteration of you as they obliterated others before it, it's not going to calm them down. What do you think? You're going to negotiate with them? You're going to negotiate with the savage? Have you seen the savage? You ever interviewed one? Oh, you haven't. Max Blumenthal, guy who attacked me last night on Twitter. Have you? You ever interviewed the savage? Defending the savage last night? Go F yourself, brother. Hard. As hard as you can. And then when you're done, F yourself again. Challenging my courage? Just DM me, brother. I'll tell you where I live. We can test that out. How about that? I'm not kidding. Send me a message. It's easy to test that, ain't it? How courageous are you defending the savage? If Max Blumenthal was dropped in a Hamas training camp tomorrow, he'd be gang raped, tortured, and beaten to death in about probably 5 minutes, depending on how long it takes him to bleed out. Toyed with the wrong guy, brother. I don't forget anything. I don't forgive much anymore either. Probably should, but I don't. So today's their day of global jihad. And NBC News, folks, says, don't sweat it. David Ingram at NBC News says, Conservatives are stoking fears of a Hamas attack in the U.S. Really, David? You're a journalist, right? We're stoking fears? Jim, can you play that cut one against yesterday? Because I just want to be sure. This is a Hamas spokesman, right? A guy who was actually with Hamas. So, Jim, you did the translation for this, correct? We're going to hear your voice. Now, this was a translation from the actual network. So you don't speak Arabic, but it's their actual translation. In other words, they're proud of this, correct? So NBC News, folks, is saying conservatives like me were stoking fear, even though it's interesting. I told you that they can take their day of rage and shove it up their ass sideways because you need to go and live your life without the fear of fear. You're the one stoking stupidity. We're not stoking fear. Where are we getting from this that Hamas may want to kill innocent people? Well, maybe from this guy. Who says it? Take a listen.
When we speak about the army of Jerusalem and the battle of the promise of the hereafter, we are not talking about liberating our land alone, but we believe in what our prophet Muhammad said. Allah drew the ends of the world near one another for my sake, and I have seen its eastern and western ends. The dominion of my nation would reach those ends that have been drawn near me. The entire 510 million square kilometers of planet Earth will come under a system where there is no injustice, no oppression, no treachery, no Zionism, no treacherous Christianity.
David Ingram from NBC News, who wrote, conservatives stoke fear of a Hamas attack in the U.S. Did you hear that? See, my podcast reaches 1 million people. This show supposedly reaches 8 million. I don't know that. I'm just going by the magazine said. You could have just listened. But see, because I listen to left-wing media stuff to get a full-body experience of what's out there. This is why left-wingers like David Ingram at NBC News are so freaking stupid. They don't even watch the show. Did you miss that yesterday when we played it? Because, Jim, if I remember correctly, we played that yesterday. We played that yesterday, which was before David Ingram wrote his piece, so he could have just seen that. The Hamas guy calling for the extermination of the infidel all over the earth. But don't worry, David Ingram says he's going to sit this one out. Famous last words, I'm with you guys. Off with your head, mother. Well, David, what are you going to do? David, you going to get your Palestinian flag out? You think Rashida Tlaib would be spared in an assault on Congress by the savage? That's hilarious. You're as stupid as you look. Here's another conspiracy theory, I'm sure. Here's Catherine Herridge. She's probably the only decent reporter left in mainstream media, by the way. Here she is with a report on police departments all over the country calling for people to be prepared. Why would they be prepared? Because a bunch of savages want to declare a day of rage, which I'm telling you again, you should tell them to shove up their ass. But that doesn't make it go away. David Ingram from NBC News. Here, take a listen.
The barriers are back up here on Capitol Hill, a sign the city is significantly stepping up security. And while there's nothing specific or credible, the threat is being assessed on a minute-by-minute basis. As the barriers went up around the Capitol building overnight, the Metropolitan Police here in Washington also increased security around places of worship here. And in New York City, all police officers were told to report in uniform for regular shifts, and off-duty officers were told to be ready at short notice. In the last 48 hours, CBS News has reviewed multiple internal law enforcement bulletins warning of the potential for domestic violent extremism. One analyst wrote that the calls by Hamas for demonstrations have the potential to resonate.
Don't worry, David Ingram, folks, from NBC News. He said conservatives are stoking fear of a Hamas attack. And he notes, Jim, definitely, calm down. No big deal, Jim. David Ingram notes, the FBI said it had no information about a crime. Oh, okay. The verdict is in, folks. The FBI, that's great. That's hilarious. Why would they have no credible information? They're too busy. They're too busy right now investigating parents at school boards and pro-lifers and the evil white supremacist threat all over the United States. There's a white supremacist around every corner. Forget about the Islamo-fascist who's literally on TV calling for basically the extermination of the infidel all over the earth and a day of jihad rage. Don't worry. David Ingram at NBC News says this is all a conspiracy theory on True Social. NBC News, the PP network. The same network that told you it was a PP tape. And that there was an insurrection on Capitol Hill is the same network. And they said that the FBI said that there's no credible threat. Now I'm worried. Now I'm a little worried. Changed my mind, folks. Now I'm worried. I kid. Because I do worry. I worry all the time. I ain't living my life any different. Neither should you. Keep your eyes open. Stay vigilant. Be a sheepdog. Don't be a sheep. Live your life as normal. Don't call for censorship. Don't call for people to hole up. Folks, think back to the Blitz in Great Britain during World War II. I mean, there was an actual bombing overhead going on every single night. And you know what? People still went to work. In World War II, while your grandparents, many of them, mine included, were fighting in the Battle of the Bulge, fighting an existential threat for humankind, the Nazi, the actual Nazis, an extermination machine. People went to work. No excuse. You can take your day of rage and shove it up your ass. I hope you hear that loud and clear. You take your day of rage, your day of anger tomorrow, your day of being pissed off, whatever you want to call it, your day of jihad. Yeah, we're concerned about it. But you can stick it up your ass sideways, because we ain't living any different. We'll be right back.
Bongino.
Hey, are you prepared for the unthinkable ahead? We all need to pray right now for the best, but prepare for the worst. It may be coming. It means stockpiling emergency food with My Patriot Supply before it's too late. Right now, go purchase a 3-month emergency food kit from MyPatriotSupply.com. They're the nation's leader in self-reliance. Order yours today by going to MyPatriotSupply.com. Each family member needs their own kit when disaster strikes. These 3-month kits from MyPatriotSupply.com give you an abundance of delicious meals, providing over 2,000 calories a day. Calories are survival. You'll have plenty to eat when everyone else is scavenging empty store shelves. So stock up now with My Patriot Supply, because you won't get a warning when disaster hits. That's why they're disasters. Order by 3 o'clock today, and your order will ship the same day for free. The unthinkable can happen at a moment's notice. I think we've seen that. So don't wait for a crisis to hit. Prepare today and become self-reliant, no matter what the future holds. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com.
Dan Bongino.
St. Louis's new choice for conservative talk.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Live and local.
Welcome home. And whoosh, sitting in traffic, stuck in a jam, and being entertained by Vic and Thunderstealing Ken.
This is News Talk STL.
Do I have a place for you folks as we head into these beautiful fall weather months? Espino's Mexican Grill. You can find them 24/7 at espinosmexicanbargrill.com, and you can find them 24/7, 365 at 17409 Chesterfield Airport Road, right in the heart of Chesterfield Valley, just off of Interstate 6440. Espino's Mexican Grill, nearly 2 decades in the business. I've been going there for years. They have a fantastic menu of authentic Mexican fare, not the typical stuff you get around town, and the coldest drinks around. Did I mention the margarita patio? That's what I call it, outside. Fantastic addition that Espino's put in several years ago. Espino's is a fresh alternative to the typical stuff you get. Once you go once, you'll be back many, many times. Check them out online, espinosmexicanbargrill.com, located at 17409 Chesterfield Airport Road. Best authentic Mexican fare and best coldest drinks around in town.
Do you live in West St. Louis County? Then you can get West News Magazine delivered free to your home just by asking for it. West News Magazine is the only print source for the political, school, business, and sports news happening in your hometown. Simply visit westnewsmagazine.com/subscribe or pick up a free copy at all area Deerbergs and Schnuck stores. West News Magazine. Anybody who wants it gets it. Anybody who gets it wants it. Subscribe for free today. Simply visit westnewsmagazine.com/subscribe.
Hey, Columbo here, reminding you that cybersecurity has never been more important, so you need to ask yourself, is your business prepared for a possible ransomware attack? And if you have any doubt, you need to call the team at ThrottleNet today. ThrottleNet provides world-class managed IT services and IT support to many local organizations, including my family's own small business. They're St. Louis's highest rated and most reviewed outsourced IT company, and there's many different ways ThrottleNet can help with your business's operation and digital protection. Learn more now at throttlenet.com.
As winter approaches and we keep our energy-efficient homes closed, we are exposed to many different chemicals, molds, dust, virus, and bacteria floating throughout the air. Hi, I'm Everett Jones, owner of Jones Air and Water. Since 1995, Jones Air and Water has helped many breathe better and reduce allergens in their home and business. Call Jones Air and Water at 636-899-1040 or visit joneswater.com for more info. You can be a filter or buy a filter. Jones Air and Water on the web at joneswater.com.
On the next,
Larry Connors, USA.
Hamas terrorists calling for a worldwide jihad on this date, Friday the 13th.
Larry Connors, USA. Now, weeknights 6 until 8 on News Talk STL. News, analysis, opinion. News Talk STL.
We're not playing games. Cutesy time is over. This is for real. The Dan Bongino Show.
Jim's trying to cheer me up a little bit. Jim's like, well, can I still text you about college football tomorrow? I said, sure, man. I got a thing with my daughter tomorrow, so I won't be home. But everybody needs a little mental reprieve, but I don't feel right taking one, but I get it. Hey, folks, if inflation's taking a toll on your pocket with the dollar shrinking daily, it's time to join AMAC, AMAC. It's the Association of Mature American Citizens. With AMAC, you can save from 10 to 65% on products like cell phones and plans, health and wellness products, travel and lodging, vision, dental, and prescription drugs. Go to amac.us/Dan. The savings alone will more than pay for your subscription. They even have an advisory service for Social Security and Medicare that will answer any questions you have. Join today at amac.us/Dan. Thinking of or in the middle of retirement? AMAC Financial Planning and Retirement Planners can help you learn more about life insurance, IRA rollovers, and investment advice from its referral partners. Head on over to amac.us/Dan. Discover savings that will help make dreams come true. Discover a world of savings on everything to fuel your future. It all starts at amac.us/Dan. It's a great group. The Association of Mature American Citizens. Better for you, better for America.